So you believe God is white?
First of all, white man, let me say that I love you, honor you, envy you, enjoy your smell, and I celebrate you in the name of white Jesus.
Thank you?
No, thank you. Look at that. That's a handsome young man, ain't it? Now, if God looked like Isaac Hayes, you think his son would look like this? That's right. Somebody out there is feeling the spirit.
I am! I feel it!
If you black of skin and full of sin, come forward, so I may lay my hands on you.
Oh, thank you, Jesus!
Black, be gone! Ah! Praise white Jesus!
So, black people are a...
Cursed!
So, black people are a...
Cursed!
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Muhammad Dash. All right, once again, giving double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone to rule well and teach well. And to all you faithful locking throughout the four winds, continue pushing the truth and sincerity. We're going to go into a basic topic dealing with the Renaissance period and the area of the Renaissance period. Images, history, some bit of the Roman Empire. And so we're just going to go in the spirit. And the brother's going to start off with Job chapter 9 and verse 24. This is the book of Job. This is the book of Job. Chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where the wisdom? All right, let's read the first part again. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Now, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked during the time of what they call the Renaissance period. Renaissance means rebirth. Okay, back, and Naissance means birth. So that, and it started around the 1400s, 1350, 1400s, circa AD. So this is the time that Esau Edom came into power, which today will be known as the white man. Right, which is biblical nationality is Esau, Edom, or Adawam. And culture was changed, images were changed. So when this devil took power, he did a number, on images, the iconoclasm, knocking off the dark-skinned images in Russia, Europe, Germany, all these different places in Europe, trying to get rid of dark-skinned images. From flatter noses to, he'll cut those noses off, then he'll replace it with their images. So that's a violation of scriptures right there. So we're just gonna go into it in the spirit. So I want to just get this one just to prove who the wicked are. Whereas Edom said, "We are in province, we will return and build desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people whom the Lord hath in the nation forever." Right, that speaks for itself. Esau's called the border of wickedness. You got three classifications of men: the sons of God, Israel. Right, you got the sons of men, these other nations. You got the sons of wickedness, Esau, Edom. Now, why is he wicked? Look around. Okay, because we just read the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You see all this stuff that you see all around. You see this false doctrines, this Catholic Church pushing out this false image. These Edomites claim to be the Most High. We'll get certain scriptures, Second Thessalonians, and so on and so forth. Ezekiel 28, they sit in that seat. They claim to be the Most High. Also, too, could you read that first part again on that scripture you just said? This is the book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, "We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places." Now, Esau Edom was driven to the, you could grab Job 30 right quick, my Bible shot. You can start from verse 3 or 4. Esau Edom was pushed into the Caucasus Mountains where Georgia Russia is at. And, when they started coming into power, gradually King Bulan, they started acquiring Judaism, started following our custom. Well, really not following because they're Edomites, they can't, But these devils came into power.
during the time of the Renaissance period. And that's when they said they were going to be, they were going to rebuild. You know, because these devils were at one particular time, they were in a low position. They ran up there to the Caucasus Mountains by the Moors and these other nations, right? And also too, I was going to mention something too, man. As far as, go ahead, Alex.
It's the book of Job, chapter 30, verse 3. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste. They call up mallows by the bushes, and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief.
Now read the NLT verse right quick about the
I'll start from verse 2.
No, the one you just said. The last one.
They are driven from human society. In my NLT verse 5. Job chapter 30, verse 5. They are driven from human society, and people shout at them as if they were thieves.
Right. The scriptures say in Genesis 4 that Esau Edom will be a fugitive and a vagabond. He was what you call a nomad, has nowhere to rest. All right, he had no place to go. He was just stuck in the Caucasus Mountains. But then again, he would go from one place to another when he started taking root and power.
Are you talking about Cain? It's Cain.
Right.
Which is Esau.
Right, which is Esau.
Yeah.
You're right.
I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, come.
Brothers, you want to read up about that. You got to look into that. Market Cain, Ephesus, so on and so forth.
Right, they were driven from among men.
Yeah.
But these devils are known to be nomads. The scriptures say a fugitive and a vagabond he shall be. And these devils, you can clearly see it. They go to everybody's land. They take what's not theirs. They divide families. They spoil everybody. They destroy households. They change images. Right? So they say, you know what? I will rebuild. And how did Esau build? All right, by having that great sword, like it says in Genesis 27 and 40. This the only way this devil went to conquer the earth is by violence. Right? The Most High put him in that power seat. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. That's what it's talking about. The Heavenly Father put this devil in that power seat.
Can you get that one about setting over the basis of man?
I got it. This Daniel.
I want to get something for the brother's point. Let me see here. There was something I read in here about Esau, Edom, which goes into what the brother said. They were a robber nation. Maybe I should try looking for Esau.
Yeah.
That one right here, 103 to 105. It talks about how the hell, look at Mount Seir.
And also too, I forgot to mention too, before Esau, Edom came to power, you had what you call the Dark Ages, or the Holy Roman Empire, which started around 325 with Constantine the Great, which is an Israelite, and it lasted to like the fall of Constantinople. All right, in 1453, which is Constantinople, Asia Minor. Right, so it lasted. The Byzantine Empire lasted for roughly 1100, give and take, years. Right, this is how we can prove the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Esau, Edom.
Edomites would go on invading. Yep, this is what I wanted.
All right, let me read this first. I got this. Daniel chapter 4 and verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. So Esau didn't establish himself in that power seat. The Most High gave it that rulership and set it up over it the basis of men. Let me just grab a definition of base. The basis, right? H8215, low. Okay, the lowest station, basis or low. And the Hebrew word is shafal. Shafal. You got it, right?
Yeah. So I want to go over to, and also prove a quick point that the brother made. Get some history for you brothers. This is Halley's Bible Handbook, New Revised Edition by Zondervan. This is from Obadiah, page 361. Edomites. Edom was the rocky range of mountains east of the Arabah. See page 142, stretching about 100 miles north and south and about 20 miles east and west. It was well watered with abundant pasturage. Sela pasturage carved in a high perpendicular cliff overlooking a valley of marvelous beauty. Far back in the mountain canyons was the capital. Edomites would go out on raiding expeditions and then retreat to their impregnable strongholds high up in the rocky gorges. So that's what they would do. Even back then, they would go down on raiding expeditions, rob and steal, and then go back to their base. Now you think about these Edomites with their wars and how they have their bases. They have something called a command post, and they send out squads, death squads, to go out. And then when they're done killing and murdering, raping, and pillaging, what do? They go back. They usually have an armored troop carrier, and they go back to what the hell they were doing back at their base. All right, these Edomites are the same. All right. Edomites were descendants of Esau, but were always bitter enemies of the Jews, Israelites, perpetuating the enmity of Esau and Jacob. They refused passage to Moses and were always ready to aid an attacking enemy, which happened in history, always.
And also too in the Babylonian, when you go to Psalms 137, it said, destroy it to the foundation thereof. So we always been enemies to Esau, Edom. They've been our enemies. And look, to this day, you see, that's why so-called blacks and Latinos get harassed on the streets. They get stereotyped. They're looked down upon. You know, they'll call you homeless. All right, you're not presentable to get the job that an Edomite is qualified for. You're not, you don't qualify as every other race on this earth. Why? Because right now you're in a lower position than this devil.
Exactly.
Right?
One more thing. These Edomites, they help these other nations take us down. All right? They make deals with these Ammonites and Moabites, selling our women's fake-ass hair. Which our women go out and buy because they're the curses. They're out of their fucking mind. All right? Buying that fucking horse hair and all that bullshit. All that fucking fake-ass shit. All right? Fucking put it on their head and scratch it all the damn time. Because it's not supposed to fucking be there. It's supposed to have natural hair.
Right.
You can have beautiful hair and have it be natural. Yeah, I said it.
Look at
woman, you guys are gone.
Look at Jada Pinkett.
Yeah.
That bitch talking about she's gonna fix her bald head. No, you're not, bitch. That shit gonna stay bald until the nuclear missiles hit you.
Exactly.
Jada Pinkett, that bitch is an adulteress too.
Yeah. Her
No.
daughter's mad. She's into all kinds of lesbianism, man.
Her son too.
Yeah, her son, the boy, he's with that other nigga. What's his name? Tyler, the Creator. Whatever those two do. I'm not even gonna talk about what little situation
We won't even
alliance those two got going down. We're not even gonna mention it. You got it out.
You won't even
We
imagine.
don't want to imagine. We don't want to talk about that nigga. You got it.
Well, let me just back you up right quick. How these nations are confederate against us. Psalms 83 and verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. And that's what these nations do, headed up by Esau, Edom, right? And we're going to go back to the point why he's called the basis of men. You're not holding Job 30 no more, right? I got it. I'll hold it. I'll grab it, right? They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. So the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians are a nation of people. And what these devils are trying to do is trying to cut us off from being a nation, right? By feeding us drugs, okay, guns, you know what? All these other means of trying to get rid of us, right? Abortion, birth control pills, whatever you name, it's been already tried on our people, you know. But the Most High is not going to let these devils cut us off from being a people, like He promised in Jeremiah 31, right? Psalms 83 and verse 4, that the name of Yasharal or the Israelites may be no more remembered, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and the Ishmaelites, which are these Arabs. Now, who funded the slave trade? Esau did. Who built the slave ships? The Arabs did, which are these Ishmaelites. Of Moab and the Hagarenes. Hagarenes are, I believe they might be Ishmaelites too. And Moab are these Gooks. So everybody you know, has a problem with the Israelites, right? Gebal and Ammon and Amalek and the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. So all these nations are confederate against us.
I'm going to get a quick scripture. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. There is no new thing under the sun. These things that these other nations making alliances against us has come time and time again in the scriptures. And I just want to give one account in Judges chapter 3. It's a while ago I went into this, I did a video on assassinations, how assassinations are in the Bible, all right? And how hitmen putting hits on people and moving, you know, in that kind of way, and how these jakes do the same things in prisons, man. All right? They get a little knife, a little shank, they pull a nigga to a corner, and they tear his ass up, all right? But I want to show you just one account of how the scriptures are rough, man, all right? And I just want to get this quick account. This is the book of Judges, chapter 3, and let's see here. I'll start verse 12. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because he had done evil in the sight of the Lord. And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon, our Moab is so-called Japanese man, and he gathered unto him the children of Ammon, the so-called, I said Moab, the so-called Chinese man, Ammon, the so-called Japanese man, and Amalek. All right, you know who Amalek is, man. Edomite. Yep. These Khazarians, these high-level Edomites, man. These fucking little hats. They call themselves Amalek. Yeah, who they do?
Yeah. Even when you go to the Jewish encyclopedia, I forgot what edition that is. They say Esau is modern-day Jewry, meaning Esau, Edom is dwelling in Israel now. They said it out of their own mouth. The Most High said he should make the tongue to fall upon himself. They said it. Well, can't go back on your word. They said it.
There we go. Yeah, and gathered unto the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel and possessed the city of palm trees, which I'll look up the city of palm trees. I'm pretty sure it's Lebanon. I thought it was Jericho. I'll look it up.
Jericho, I believe, is in that. You can look it up.
Yeah, city of palm trees in the Bible. So this is www.edu, plant site, Bible plants, palm. Jericho is known as the city of palm trees. Deuteronomy 34:3, Judges 1:16 and 3:31. And even today, they form the most conspicuous vegetation in that area. In addition to its fruit, the date palm was once valued for its leaves, which were used to make baskets, etc. That's a point. Yeah. So they took over Jericho, but I'm not going to go super deep. I mentioned it in that video I did, certain things.
I'm gonna go back in Job. I'll finish in Job. This Job chapter 30 and start at verse 5 again. They were driven from among men, right? The Moors pushed them up into the Caucasus Mountains, or what they call Georgia, Russia. That's why you think of the application of, like, it says Caucasian or black. Ain't nobody black. Ain't nobody Caucasian. Ain't nobody white. Those are they even give themselves proverbs and bywords. Verse 5. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and caves of the earth and in the rocks. You got a hotel called Hotel Edom. You got even a wine called Wine Edom. A wine called Edom. These are the people that the Most High has indignation forever, has anger, a perpetual anger for forever. Right? They are our enemies. They're the Most High's enemies. They're the enemies of creation. They're everybody's enemies.
Read Numbers 24. Look at Numbers 24. It talks about what's going to come to Esau and Amalek. Amalek is the first of the nations. All right, and at his latter end was that he's going to perish forever.
Yep. No, we finished it.
Yeah. You know, it just goes into it time and time again. Esau, destruction, Jacob, rulership, in the time to come, in this new era. The second Ezra 6 and 9. Was it 9 and 6 or 6?
Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 9.
Verse 9, right. Yeah, I confuse that sometimes. But,
that's all good.
Yeah.
This Job chapter 30 and verse 6, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys. Now, we're here in New York City right now, and I don't know if you can see behind. which you don't really have to pan the camera, but you see all those buildings, okay? Esau Edom, he likes dwelling in high buildings. Also, too, they like bungee jumping. Who the fuck bungee jumps from a 2,000 foot out of a 2,000 foot plane? Like, yo, that's crazy, man. Just the adrenaline rush they get for doing that.
Well, they have the rulership, so they just do whatever the fuck. They out here, they having all the women, these Edomites. They got all these all those hooker apps and shit, all these Tinders. Some Edomites, they run that shit. They run it. They rule everything, man. Yep. They get all the women whenever they want a woman. Them Edomites to get their boys together. They go give the woman a call and they show a couple thousand, and they get the woman right then and there. You ever see American Psycho? Look at that scene with Patrick Bateman. He's driving in his car. He just showed the woman some money and she went into his house. That's how these Edomites play. Time and time again. You know, you guys just don't get it. All right, they have the rulership right now. As the brother said, they like to dwell in the high places, in the rocks. I just pulled out to you in this book here, Halley's, how these Edomites, they like to dwell in the cliffs and in the rocks, in these mountains. They'll get down from their mountain, go down and attack you, get back up into the mountain. You got these helicopters, those boats, those big ass boats that carry planes and shit.
You're talking about like a barge? Like
yeah,
a barge, right?
They got those big ass barges and they carry, I think the airship carriers or something. They carry planes
Yeah,
on
those are like barges.
Yeah, they do the same shit. They get off the plane, they get off from that location, go in, attack the enemy, fly back. After they commit murder, they go fly back and go do whatever folly they were doing back in that shit. I wanted to just prove that point.
Also, too, you know how also you could know that they're Edomites? Now, the Horites, which are these Hamites, used to dwell in Mount Seir before Esau took over it. Now, if you look at the word Horite, which we're just going to mention, we ain't got to grab it, but it means cave dweller. So it makes perfect sense why they would call themselves Caucasian 2025, 100 years after, or whatever, 3,000 years after, 4,000 years. It would make perfect sense why they call themselves Caucasian. Yep. So the original inhabitants of Mount Seir were not Edomites. They were Horites, or these Africans. Job chapter 30 and verse 8, they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. Their base means to be low. Morals, they lack morals. They lack respect.
You finished that one in Daniel, the 4th chapter, how they're the basis of men?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that ties right back into it.
That's right.
They're the basis of men. They're the lowest. They lack melanin. Melanin, it protects us from the sun, has all other sorts of benefits. Yep. When these bodybuilders, when these Edomites, they do bodybuilding and shit, what do? They paint themselves black. The dark skin, it shows muscle definition. It's beautiful. All right? That's something that we have to be proud of, man. These Edomites, they don't have that. That's why they're all fucked up. You know? They have all sorts of ailments, all sorts of skin cancers, all sorts of issues that come with it.
And the women, if you look at it, Edomite women, they age quicker.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
They be like 20. How old are you? Well, I'm 20. Why your ass look like you 70 years old? Something wrong there.
Oh, yeah.
But no, Jake just naturally looks like young. They do. We look healthier. We look younger.
I don't want to say it because we're not black, but you know that saying, black don't crack?
Oh, yeah. Black don't crack.
Black don't
Israelites
crack.
don't crack.
Israelites don't crack.
Well, they do crack. You know what I mean. Our people are in a low condition.
In a low condition, yeah. They just in the back room snorting the fucking line, snorting the 8-ball, man. You niggas are gone. You guys are gonna have fun. I'm telling you, when it's time to come, those famines, you guys are gonna have some fun, man.
Yep.
All right, y'all are finished.
That's right. This Job chapter 30 and verse 8. They were children of fools. Yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Now, when you jump to verse 1, this is why they were viler than the earth. Who does this? What race of people does this? Do this. Job chapter 30 and verse 1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. So don't put your dogs next to Esau. He'll run a train on a pig.
Yeah.
I seen a video like that. One of the brothers posted it a while back. You had these Russian Edomites running a train on a pig. Now just imagine, and these Jakes love eating pork chops. Just imagine that same pork or pig that you ate was that pig that was assaulted and gang raped by some Edomites.
Exactly.
Just imagine that. You Jake's eating that shit.
It doesn't matter anyway.
man.
It's off anyway. You shouldn't be even putting that shit into your body.
Of course.
So even if you farm grow a fucking pig, which if you have a farm, I don't know why you would want pigs. Like what, you're gonna eat it or something, right? But a pig, it's disgusting, and they roll around and shit. Now you got that, plus these Edomites running trains on the pig, you know. And these Edomites, they say it themselves, man. They have these animals, they sacrifice these animals in the witchcraft ceremonies. I've heard some things of witchcraft where they actually do bestiality with these animals. This is what these Edomites do, these high-level Luciferians do, all right, to do their witchcraft. Remember, whenever these Edomites got to go do something, because remember, they follow those ways with Aleister Crowley, they'll do as thou wilt. All right, whenever these Edomites want to do something, these high-level ones, they always got to pull them back into the room. They always got to do that witchcraft, man. That's why we tell you niggas not to get involved with them, man. Then you do anyway. You become these boule-ass niggas, man. You know? Low levels.
Can I jump back to Job 9 right quick? Baba Kushat. Now we gonna get into some color scriptures, but you know, of course, when you do videos like this, you gotta build a foundation. We gotta like jump back and forth.
Yeah.
How this devil came to power, when he came into power, what was happening around that time. You gotta like put the pieces of the puzzle together, or else it ain't gonna come together. You can't just read the scripture like a novel or some type of, you can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't just come in here and just, you gotta look into these things. All right? You don't read every single thing. You don't gotta go into every single thing. You got points that you wanna hit. All right? But it's, we just do the work. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24.
Yeah, that's part of doing the work too. To be like in a strenuous condition. Like you want to get everything out at one time,
exactly.
But it doesn't work like that. You got to go little here, little there. You got to build, you got to have a foundation and properly in order too. Yeah. So,
this book of Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So
we established when the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. That was around 1400 AD. Yep. Right? That's when this devil started coming into power. We're going to jump back to that actually too when we go to Revelation. Yep. How when it's Christopher Columbus, we'll get into all that. But you got it. I just want to
look into the Florentine Revolution, Florentine Renaissance as well. If I could find it, I'll pull it up later.
Florence, Italy.
Yeah, Florence, Italy. Like I think that's north. You had the Renaissance. That was really early. The Renaissance appeared like in the 1300s.
One of my supervisors that I used to work for, I believe he comes from Florence.
Yeah.
That's the spirit, man.
Yeah. Could be Edomite, could not. You never know.
Yeah, because you got Jakes, you had Israelites in Sardinia, which pertains to Italy. Sardinia, Corsica, North Italy, Southern Italy. Jakes down there in South Italy act much different than certain Jakes or certain or Edomites in the north. Southern Italy acts different than Northern Italy.
Weren't the Jews exiled to Sardinia?
Yeah, they were by
It's in the history.
19 AD by 19 AD by I forgot. Who was ruling in 19 AD? Was it Tiberius? I believe it was Tiberius Caesar that was ruling in 19 AD. I gotta look back at the history.
Yeah.
But yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Israelites were everywhere. You had when you go to Acts 18, you had Claudius Caesar that expelled us from Rome. You had
synagogues.
Exactly.
Doing our own things, so kicked them out.
This how you know we're the same people coming back, because now people look at us like, oh boy, we got to look at them again. Oh no, here we go.
Well, it's not going to be the exact same, but eventually we are going to be pushed out the corners. We're not going to be. You see how they're doing now? They're closing domestic travel. We're not going to go too far into it, but they're closing domestic travel, and eventually it's going to move from interstate travel. Then it's going to be block to block. You're going to have troops block to block. They see you. They want to see some paperwork, all right? And if you don't have the paperwork, then they're going to put you places where you don't want to be. We're not going to sit there and wait for that. So through spirit, it's going to be something similar, you know?
That's right. But it's going to be more drastic, too.
drastic.
Because Esau was given that great sword.
Yeah.
See, with the Roman Empire, at least he allowed the Israelites to, you know, to operate in our customs. All right, he's doing it here too, but he didn't have the technology back then like he has now. He didn't have these military tankers and weapons back then that he has now. And a lot of his weapons that he got back then, he got a lot of it from the Japhites.
Yeah.
Also, the Greeks, the Edomite Greeks, took it from the original Greeks, which are Japhetic people. I forgot what's that called, the phalanx.
Oh, phalanx, yeah. When they get
Not phalanx, that long thing where they march in the front line with the, you know what I'm talking about? I forget what that's called.
I think you're not talking, the phalanx is where they get in like a bubble, like a huddle with the shields.
But they got the long, like the dagger type thing.
Oh,
I forgot that weapon. It's all good.
Sword.
Nah, it was like long. It was like long. Of course they had short sword, but
Javelins, right?
it was like a javelin type thing. But they'll use it. They got that technique from the Japhites. You know what I'm talking about, right? They got that technique from the Japhites.
Just mess you up. You know? But yeah, I'll read it again. It's the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where he was.
Okay, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Now we're talking about Renaissance art. Iconoclasm, which iconoclasm means a breaker of images. If you look at the coats of arms in Sardinia, like I mentioned, you had Israelites all over Croatia, Yugoslavia. You had Israelites all over the place. You know, you had dark-skinned images because the Moors were ruling for 1,000 years when this devil was in the Caucasus Mountains during the time of the Dark Ages. So it ties in perfectly with history. So now you know how we brothers come out on Howards and Bowers, we got like the Caesarea Borgia sign. We'll like throw it on the fucking ground and we'll step on it and shit. Yeah. You know, like this ain't Yahweh Shai. This ain't the image of our Lord. Our Lord did not look like a pasty cracker. And people get mad, especially like the Puerto Ricans, Ephraimites. I'm gonna call them Puerto Ricans. You ain't acting like an Ephraimite. These dirty ass Puerto Ricans, these panini pork chop eating Puerto Ricans look at that image and believe that that's their savior. And Mexico too. You got these Mexicans looking at this image like Caesarea Borgia is their savior, but they don't know where that image came from. Now, what's the most famous painter that we mentioned?
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo, right? Let me read a couple of Renaissance artists here. Let me read off a couple of Renaissance artists. Actually, a few. Leonardo da Vinci, Edomite. Michelangelo, Raphael, Sandro Botticelli, Donatello, Caravaggio, Filippo, I'm not going to read everyone, Filippo Brunelleschi, Giorgio Vasari, Titian, John Van Eyck, Masaccio. Oh my goodness, you could go on and on. Look at this. Look how many artists. These are Edomites. Now, let's prove that these are the same exact devils, right? During the time of the Renaissance. We're going to now go back, how many years? Let's go back to 3-something AD. Go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1, and let's start at verse 1. You can even do Daniel's first, or going into the Greek Empire, but let's just jump right into the 1 Maccabees. Let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1. Let's start with Alexander the Great, 1 and 1. Then we'll jump to like 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. And come in whenever you want.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, or like Greece. I think it's like Cyprus, Greece, that entire region.
Exactly. It just doesn't mean the island of Cyprus. It meant the Greek region.
Had smitten Darius, king of the Persians, and Medes, and he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. And you can read about him doing that and taking down the Persians. I think it's Daniel's, the 8th chapter.
8th chapter. He moved with cola.
Hatred. Because you look into the history, the Persians actually had those Macedonians under subjection. They actually had to report to them.
They did.
You know, and Alexander, he's not actually the first Alexander. There was actually more. There's more. Yep. I think the first one was called Alexander Phi Hellene, which means lover, right? A lover of Greek culture. And that's what those Macedonians were. They were lover of Greek culture. Yeah. You know? Exactly. But I just wanted to make that point. And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth.
So right, so this was around the time of 3-something BC. And so Alexander was, he's a man of war, but on the left-hand side, of course, he's a man of war, and he was conquering. Man, he conquered the Persians. I believe it took like 12 years. He's gonna mention it too, that he conquered the Persians. But we're just gonna establish who these devils are. It's the same exact people that are ruling the earth now.
Verse 3, and went to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted in his heart, his mind was lifted up. So they got prideful. Time and time again, these nations get prideful and they get taken down. Over and over and over again. So these Edomite Romans, you see with these Edomites now, man. Right?
This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, right? Whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? So these devils are proudful, like the brother mentioned. They're proud. They don't think nobody can take them out of power. But the Most High gave the white man, or the so-called white man, the power of the earth. He has it. There's no doubt about that. This devil is ruling the earth, right? So, and they don't believe they're going to come out of power, right? Read, who will bring me down to the ground. Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and America's symbol we know to be the eagle. Ancient Greece, the eagle. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Right, his satellites, he puts them satellites in the orbit. He just launched the James Webb, or the Yaquab Webb satellite, right? Why a Webb is to trap the Israelites, and James literally means Yaquab, or the Israelites. It's spiritual, man. This devil just launched that satellite up there because they're trying their very best with their technology to cut us off from being a people, and that's not going to work.
I want to bring this out, this piece of history from Wikipedia.org. Achaemenid Macedonia. Macedonia served the Achaemenid Empire, which the Achaemenid are going to the Persians. During the Greco-Persian Wars in their invasion of mainland Greece, they regained independence following the defeat and withdrawal of the Achaemenid Empire in 479 BC. So I'm not going to go into everything in the history, but I want to just prove that. These Edomites served these Persians, these Elamites, and then when the time came, they went out, and the Lord gave these Edomites power to go around and fight wars and win strongholds and go around and rule the world for that time. Right. And the Romans came after, so on and so forth. All right. I'll go back to first Maccabees.
Yeah, we established that already. Let's go into
Probably weren't the point where it goes to when they were ruling the Hebrews began to multiply upon the earth.
Yeah, let's do that too. Yeah, we can go into that.
Yeah, I was thinking.
It's verse 9.
Yeah.
You can start probably it's verse 9 because it says they placed crowns upon him. Yeah, verse 9.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 7. Skipping down a little bit. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule everyone in his place. I believe the brother mentioned how he took over the world in 12 years. Did all this conquering in those years. And his servants bare rule everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, diadachi, which I'll just mention it real quick. You see how good my memory is. Seleucus, Seleucus the first Nicator. We was in Babylon, Syria, and those other regions.
Exactly right.
Eventually took those regions over. You got Ptolemy in Egypt.
Right.
You got Lysimachus. He was in Asia Minor.
Right.
And then you have Cassander, who was in Macedonia.
That's right,
Greece.
But there was more than just 4 generals. Those are just the top generals.
Yeah.
But a lot of sources, man, you could go into it all day long. There was a lot of Edomite successes because the Diadachi Wars was a war to fight for position. So those 4 generals or kings that the brother mentioned, those had established kingdoms, right? Those had established kingdom, but it doesn't mean you didn't have other Edomites in other regions, you know, because you had the Attilid Empire in Pergamum, the Attilid Empire. And I like mentioning this too, something about the Attilid Empire, that you had a Talus II Philadelphus. That's where the name Philadelphia comes from, which means brotherly love. A lover of my brother, or brotherly love. It came from these Greeks. Why do they got a city called Philadelphia, Pennsylvania?
I think there's other ones too.
There is.
Like Ptolemy, I think there's Philadelphia. I may be wrong, it doesn't matter.
There's a lot. There's a lot, you know? Tying into Psalms 49 and verse 11, the inward thought is that their houses shall continue. They call their lands after their own names.
Yep.
It's talking about Esau Edom. You know? He plants his American flag and says, I'm going to name this.
Washington, D.C.
Yep.
But let's see. I think there's a place in Liberia. Man, it's named after Alexander. Shit, I can't remember it.
Liberia, Africa, right?
Yeah, there's a place in there that's named. Yeah, I know brothers know what I mean. There's a place in there I think it's named after. Is it Andrew Jackson or someone else? But there's history in that.
Well, you got Colombia. The country of Colombia was named after Columbus. That was when Columbus came into power too. That was around the 1400s, 1492. So this is how we could tie it into Esau Edom. When he had the fatness of the earth and he was given that great sword in his possession. It's talking about the time period we're living in now. He's got it. He's got the earth in his clutch. Nope.
Same people.
We ain't ruling.
So yeah, this is the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 9. And after his death, they all put crown upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, their sons took the rulers. You have those different dynasties, Ptolemy's dynasty, the Seleucid dynasty, so on and so forth, Syrian wars, which that goes to Daniel's 11th. It's not going to go all into that, but it's the same things today. The devils fight among each other, man.
Right.
All right? And evils were multiplied to the earth. All right, so was back then, so is today.
And when you read too, the evils that were multiplied, sports, right? When you go into like sporting events, they were practiced nude. Now it's a shame for us to look at each other's nakedness as Israelites. They were practicing, you know, they fought, they had wrestling matches, nude wrestling matches. You know, they had Olympics, which was like all kinds of, like now they even got the Olympics. You got these Edomites and Jakes even with these tight ass spandex on,
rolling around each other.
Yeah.
Come here, man. And then whenever they talk, they got these weak bitch ass voices. Oh, hi, yeah.
Yep.
Let's have a really good wrestling match today. All right, they're all on. A lot of them are dope. They're taking steroids and all these drugs. You're not supposed to do that. According to scriptures, you're not supposed to be involved in taking roids and all that bullshit. It messes with your body. All right, but it's the point, man. They did the same thing back then, man. All these wrestling matches. What else do you have?
No, not being circumcised. That's a great evil too, because that was a covenant given to Abraham in Genesis the 17th chapter, the covenant of circumcision, which the Israelite males were supposed to become circumcised on the 8th day. Yahushua was circumcised on the 8th day. But the evils began to multiply. You had Israelites that didn't want to know nothing about their own culture. So the evils began to multiply. Homosexuality. Why do you think the Church of Corinth, matter of fact, Babakusha, let's grab that right quick. The Church of Corinth, some of them were like, sometimes he weren't in the world. Now the Church of Corinth were like the longest letters that the Apostle Paul wrote. Why? Because the Church of Corinth, which is in Greece, there were a lot of Israelites in the Church of Corinth that were committing these abominations. You know, just find the best point to go into, the best location.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6. I could really start at verse, I might as well start. I won't read it. I will just comb through it, you know. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves of mankind. All right? Which is, you know, being a booty, you know what, man.
Yep.
All right, being a chaser of man cheeks. It's a way to say it.
Flower pots chasing butt cheeks.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's the truth.
All right, you look at these cartoons that these Edomites have. There's always butt cheeks all over the place. Fucking SpongeBob, you're always butt ass naked all damn time. That shit does things to your child's mind. That's witchcraft, man. All right, that's witchcraft in those damn cartoons. That's why the scripture said, man, it's really not a good thing to be having a bunch of kids here, man. Now, if brothers, go ahead and do it. You know what you got to do to manage your household the way you got to manage your household. But me and his brother here, Lil Willin, we ain't getting jammed up with no.
Fuck that shit.
Especially not now. You see the prophecies. We're nearing the end, Lil Willin. It could be over in a couple months from now, man, or a couple years. We don't really know, man. All right, this ain't the time to be worrying about women. But if you go ahead and do that, then you go deal with that, man. But
Right.
we're not.
Those that, you know, you want to please the Lord, stay away from these fucking women.
Exactly.
Yep.
Just take your mind off of those things, man. You'll have to pay attention to them, and which doesn't mean you're out of the truth, because you gotta say these things to certain men, man.
Yeah.
Because they don't.
You got to put your foot down, man.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't listening, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man. Stay
Exactly.
away from a lot of them bitches, man.
Exactly.
That's why the Apostle Paul said it's good for a man not to touch a woman.
Exactly.
You want to go deal with a woman? Hey, we ain't trying to be over righteous, but
Yeah.
that ain't my lot. It ain't my position. Fuck that shit.
Exactly.
You know, in the kingdom, we're going to have all the women we want.
Exactly.
But these women, a lot of these women to take your mind off the truth. You start rearing off course, your ass done. That's it. Yep.
But,
We don't hope that for none of you brothers out there. Hell no.
I want to say that just because you have a woman, you got brothers in the truth that do have women, and they have in their spirit to be able to manage and manipulate that and control that.
Right.
So we're not saying, oh, he said, those brothers said, because you have a woman, you're going to fall out the truth. All right? Because you got to say that to certain of these guys, man. You gotta like reason things out, man. You guys don't get it. But, Slock, sometimes we have to mention these things, man. Because you guys say, oh, well, this guy said so-and-so. And then we'll see you on the comment board, and you'll say, oh, hey, Elder, Shalom, these two brothers said, if you don't have a woman, you're not in the truth.
Yeah, they'll make some shit up. Then you have other brothers talking shit about us. Oh, them dudes are evil. They not in a, some men ain't right. Nigga, you ain't right. How about that? You ain't right, nigga.
Exactly.
I got it like you. It's like a brother can tell you what the Most High is putting you through.
Exactly.
Like what affliction the Most High is putting you through. Maybe because he ain't put you through shit yet. How about that?
Exactly.
You ain't feel that fire yet.
Exactly.
I got it, man. Niggas always talking shit, man.
Exactly. Some of you guys are weirdos, and I say it time and time again, man. Some of you brothers that left to your own, you guys are weird.
Yep.
But that's just the spirit. It put me in here to say that, man. Some of you guys are weird. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 10. Nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. And such were some of you, but you are washed, meaning you washed by the word. Okay.
The water baptism.
Yep.
Not by the Spirit. That's right.
Spirit. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the Spirit.
Yeah. I believe that one scripture, Yahushai, John the Baptist verily baptized with water by
Exactly.
I do it by the Spirit.
And also by fire.
Exactly.
Going through these afflictions.
Exactly.
If you're a man of the Lord, you gotta be suffering something.
Yep.
You can't just be like, oh, I'm good. Some brothers go through more. Don't say no, because it's all brothers in the world. We not in the world, but there's a scripture that says that it is accomplished afflictions in your brothers that are in the world, not of the world, but it's accomplished. We all go through something, man.
Yeah.
Some brothers go through more than others. You don't know what the Most High put brothers through. Everybody, brother, is like, you don't know how the Most High does things. This is not your program. This is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua's program, and that right there is the truth.
It's the truth. You got that scripture that says about chastising it, or not chastising it. I think that's how it goes, but I think it's Hebrews 12. It goes into the Lord is dealing with you when you're being chastised, man.
Right.
All right. When you're being afflicted, when you're just these thoughts, these dumbass fucking thoughts come into your mind, you have to deal with it. And sometimes you just stand in here like, what the fuck, man? All right. Some days it gets like that, and I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck even is this, man? All right, that's why we're not in the new covenant. I'll say it time and time. Damn near we gotta mention this every video, man. Not in the new covenant. All right, let's go back to here. About the washing. Psalm 119 and 9, I believe. 119 verse 9
Yep.
goes
It
into
is.
how withal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed to thy word. That's how a young man, or a man that's not exercised and labored in this truth, okay, a new believer, as you could say, how does he wash his way? By taking heed to the word. How you take heed to the word? You gotta read, bro.
Yep.
You gotta get into this thing. Pray, fast. And when you come into this thing, you gotta do a lot of fasting, man. Get your mind right, man. All right. But yeah. But you are.
We'll just get to the point on that.
Yeah, but you are washed, but you are sanctified, but you are justified in the name of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach and by the Spirit of our power.
Right, and his name is not Jesus Christ neither.
Exactly.
That came during the time of the Renaissance as well.
But the point the brother wanted to make was that the church of one more here.
Right. The brother brought it out.
But the brother's point was by bringing out the church of Corinth. These were Israelites that were caught up in those philosophies and in those ways
Right.
of these Greeks, man. These Edomites, man, following after them, doing their fucking, getting all drunk up and just party lifestyle, that mammon worship shit, worshiping lust, living, just doing whatever the hell they want to do. You had those Epicureans
Yep.
who live for pleasure.
Living for pleasure, right?
Exactly. You know, these are some of you, man. All right. Certain men who were caught in those things, caught in the party or lifestyle. Men, I'm not gonna name who, but certain men mention it in their videos. They say, "Hey, man, I used to go to the club every week looking for hoes." All right, every week. You know, yeah. You know, we're not doing that now. It's not unlawful, but that's not something you really want to do. You know these women. You know these women are, man. They're gone now.
They're a snare and traps, man.
Exactly. They're worse now than they
Snares and
were
traps.
back then, man. Back then, say maybe some of them were decent. In the ancient world, yet had maybe a slimmer of integrity. But nowadays, man, these women are they're done,
Jake
man.
is gone, man. They
Jake
have
is gone.
revolted. They are gone.
They're gone.
Ain't no rehabilitating these Jakes, man.
Oh,
Now unless the Most High.
fire.
Yeah.
That fire is a cleansing agent,
Yeah.
as we know.
That's how it's gonna go down.
But we pretty much proved the point.
Yeah, on that.
Yeah.
Let's go to 1 Maccabees 3 and 48.
Come on.
Now, images during the time of the Renaissance period, like we said, we're tying it into these Renaissance painters.
Yep.
We're tying in the Greeks with the Renaissance painters and all that, because these Greeks, what brother's gonna read, they were doing the same exact thing. Let's bring it out.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48. And I'll just go to the point. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likenesses of their images.
Now, when you go on Google, right?
Yep.
When you go on Google, you type in Jesus Christ, and a gringo shows up. A so-called white man pops up. You type in the Apostle Paul, a so-called white man pops up. You type in any of the apostles or ancient men, King David, a so-called white man pops up.
Yep.
I typed in Ruth the Moabite the other day, a so-called white woman popped up.
Some madness right there.
And so everybody's white. All the nations were white.
Yep.
Like the Most High created white people from the beginning. No.
Look at Nimrod. Nimrod, they show us being a so-called white man.
And we know Nimrod goes back to these Cushites,
Exactly.
which are dark-skinned men. Noah's 3 sons were dark-skinned. And Esau Edom knows that very well. And one of the things with the Renaissance period is that they took some deep measures as far as like the arts, printing press, until now. Now you got you go, like I said, you'll go on YouTube or you go on Google, and the images, people get fooled by this. Because this devil is, matter of fact, I'll grab it. You go hold that one. This devil has did this as well. Isaiah 25 and 7. Right? And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. And that veil is a lie. Right? The covering cast is Esau Edom, and that mountain represents a high government, which is Esau Edom. That's why nobody on this earth, except for the Israelites and maybe a few Ishmaelites, know who they are. And that's the truth. Even the Elamites know who they are. You got Elamites that know who they are. Now,
Didn't we meet one that one time in that restaurant?
oh yeah, that's testimony.
Yeah, testimony. Yeah.
Uh,
You could probably say it better than me.
I mentioned Carmania, right?
Armenia. Yeah.
Iran, it
Yeah.
was changed from Persia to Iran in 1935.
Yeah.
And I was going into Elam in the East Indies. And he said, yes, Carmania. And he said, yes, Elamite told us this.
Elam.
With no, Elamite, I said Elamite, right?
I thought you said Elamite.
No, Elamite.
Kind of when you roll it.
Elam.
Yeah.
And they, I don't know how to say it in Hebrew, but they told us that they're the Persians. That's why we call those Iranians, they're Elamites. Them East Indians, these people that live in Pakistan. Even in Pakistan, you do got them. Of course, you got a mix, certain other nations. India, they go back to Elam. So they're the cover cast over all people. Images are very important. When you read the Bible, you got to lock in the scriptures and picture a dark-skinned Savior in your mind. And his name is Yahweh Shai, not Jesus Christ. When you type in Yahweh Shai on Google, it's a dark-skinned image. When you type in Jesus Christ, it's a light-skinned image.
Yahusha. It's not Yahusha
Exactly.
or Yahweh-Asha, or however these guys say it, man.
Yehoshua.
Yehoshua. That don't even make no damn sense, man. There's no U's, there's no O's,
No,
no
there's no
V's.
V's, there's no E's, there's no J's.
Yeah.
So it's very crucial, very important when you bring out scriptures, man. This is why we can break it down to those that listen, whether they're on video or on Howard's and Bobber's or whatever, that Esau Edom, he paints images in the likeness of himself. Read that again. Till this day, he does the same exact thing. And I mentioned some of these Renaissance artists. It wasn't just Michelangelo, it was a whole bunch of them.
John, I want to bring out a point after I read this. This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48. Verse 48. It's like, 48.
You got it right.
And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of the images. Now, of course, you do this with the scriptures, but I want to say on a larger level, these cowboys, then you see these cowboys, you grow up with your grandmama, she show you those old cowboy movies, you see this Edomite with a fucking horse whip, and he have a little pistol and a sheriff, the Lone Ranger. The Lone Ranger originally was a Jake, he was a dark-skinned man, an Israelite, all right? They cowboy, and I believe if I'm correct, Brother Malcolm did a video on it. He talked about how cowboy was actually like an insulting name because he called you boy. He used to boy that.
What's up, cowboy?
Cowboy.
Go there, cowboy.
Yeah. I believe that has ties to slavery and being a farmhand. All right. I don't know everything on it, but I believe that's what the Brother Malcolm has said. I could be wrong on it, but all right. Esau stole that history about being a cowboy. All right. Those were Israelites, man, working with the Native Americans and doing so on and so forth. I don't know everything about that history, Wild West. That's something that I could look into on my own time, but
That's where the gang started. Why you think these cowboys, they wear like blue and red, or the cowboy in those movies? Because that's where the gang started. And you niggas calling yourself Bloods and Crips.
Yep. It's deeper now. Now it's woos, choos, and so on and so forth. It's fucking, it's all over. You niggas are all over the place, man. You guys are gonna die in the concentration camp. You niggas are gonna die on the streets. Man, if I get to see it, you niggas gonna get fucking lit on fire with fucking napalm bombs and Molotovs just in the middle of the fucking street. Your ass gonna get shot down by fucking tanks and Gatling guns. You niggas got a really bad day. The spirits come. I know this is history, man, but I just gotta put that out there, man. You guys are wicked. You gotta sort of put that out there.
So, the Renaissance, man, like we mentioned earlier in the video, it means rebirth. It was a rebirth of culture. It was a rebirth of everything. Yep. We went, as Israelites, we went blank. We went from serving a dark-skinned, to serving a pale-faced devil. Until this day, that's why your grandma got rosary beads. She's over there praying to sweet Jesus.
I want to say something about that word rebirth. To be birthed, right? You have to be born first. To be reborn, you have to be born first. You have to lose something, then you have to be born again. Oh, you said Nick. Oh, yeah.
You ain't got to grab it if you want, but Nicodemus, I was breaking it down to him. He thought he would be born, coming out my mother's womb again. No, you had to be born in the Spirit. That's water baptism. That, by the Spirit. That's what I mean. The washing of the Word.
It's the Word. What comes upon you. I'm not gonna. We don't gotta go. We did a video on that too, on our pages. You know, where we go into that and break that down, the baptism. All right. So we went there. We broke down that to you. We broke down the Cowboys. Let me see if I can go find this page again.
And Job, when I read Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. We broke that down, right? He covered the faces of the judges thereof. And that's what he did with the dark-skinned images. He painted images in the likeness of himself. He did it back during the time of the Greeks, and he's doing it again now. When you think, like I said, when you think of Jesus, you think of a light-skinned image. When you think of Yahweh Shai, it's a dark-skinned image. And that's the accurate image of our Lord, a dark-skinned image.
Pull whatever scripture you got out. I'm going to go to Revelation 20.
Yeah. Yep.
I want to see something here real quick when it goes into how. I know I saw it here where ancient Rome coming back. They said.
Fucking niggas, man.
Study ancient ruins.
What are you looking for?
Yeah, it was something I read where they said that they're the ancient Romans coming back with the Florentine Revolution. Not revolution.
Oh, during the time of the Renaissance.
Yeah,
okay,
the time of the Renaissance. They said not Florentine Revolution, Florentine Renaissance. Around the 1300s, I found a web page because you had a brother out there said that Michelangelo was a Jake, which we're highly doubtful of. If you never heard Elder Pastahar mention it, or any other elder brothers mention it, I wouldn't say it because you don't want to be caught out there and then they rebuke you and then so on and so forth. You don't want to have that on your hands, man. So I don't know about that, man. I'm doubtful. I'm gonna keep looking. If I can't find it,
I'll go into this.
Yeah.
This Revelation chapter 20 and verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Now we break it down. This is speaking about Yahweh Shai. Correct. You know, and also too, it represents when the Israelites started taking root, like around 183. Actually earlier than that, I believe it was earlier than that. You had Israelites in the Roman Empire, right? And we put these devils under subjection, really starting like around 3-something AD with Constantine the Great, which he's an Israelite, and he was a sun worshiper. He was going off, right? Having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Now, that bottomless pit is speaking about, Salaki, it's speaking about Europe. And I just want to prove the point that a pit is speaking about a land, right? Bottomless pit. We might have to do a video on that one day too. Just break down what the bottomless pit is, a lack of resources and all that. But let's go into, what's that scripture? Oh man, I believe it's 2 Maccabees. 2 Maccabees chapter 5 and verse 19. No, one pit. I've chosen one pit. I got it. I got it. The second Ezra chapter 5 and verse 24. And of all lands of the whole world, that has chosen thee one pit. So a land is referring to a pit. A pit is referring to a land. And of all the flowers thereof, one lily. Right, so the Most High has favorites. Now, this pit is speaking about, the bottomless pit is speaking about Europe. And the reason why it's speaking about Europe too, because Esau Edom was under subjection during that time. So what resources could he possibly use to benefit his kingdom if he was taken down at that time? So he had that, he had that spiritual chain on him. He couldn't come back into power until a set time. And that time was the Renaissance period, the Renaissance era. Right?
They say that nothing was going on for them during that time period. So you gotta go put 2 and 2 together, man.
Yeah, the what? For reminding me of that. This from page 20 21 from the Babylon of Timbuktu. Right, brothers bring it out from time to time. I'm bringing it out again. From page 21, second paragraph. During the Middle Ages, which is the Dark Ages, the black nations, which nobody's black, black is a color, not a nationality. The black nations of Africa and Asia had the greatest political, economical, educational, and military influence in the world. Now, one of those dudes was Mansa Musa. I forget his name. Mansa Musa. He was in the Mali Empire. I believe it was the Mali Empire. Well, you had Jakes in North Africa, West Africa, because we had empires in West Africa. So you had Israelites that were rich, you know, just like in the Roman Empire. Septimius Severus, you know, he had riches.
Yeah.
Even back then, even you had Israelites like Cornelius had riches. Why? Because he was a man that was like always like giving alms. Because when you were in the Roman Empire, you did a great justice for the Roman Empire to serve them. In an Israelite serving in a Roman military, that was a great deal because Romans, like, they'll conquer everybody and make you tribute, you know, what's that? Tributary, but also too, they'll make your sons soldiers. And that's exactly what they did. Cornelius is one of them. Tiberius Julius Alexander, even though he was a wicked nigga, he had riches. He was in the Roman Empire. He was an Israelite. So you had Israelites, all Israelites weren't poor. You had Matthew the publican, he was a tax collector. How much you think he benefit off? But he followed Yahweh Shai and did the works faithfully. Zacchaeus, I believe he was another tax collector, publican.
What about Sergius Paulus?
Sergius Paulus was an Israelite too in the Roman province. I gotta look more into that history too.
Yeah, I just remembered him, but I forgot if he was a governor or a leader or something, but we don't gotta...
the governor or whatever district or whatever. But Sergius Paulus, you had Israelites in a high position. These things are important to bring out too because it is our history. You know, now you read Sergius Paulus, Dionysius, Paul, all of those are like Greek names. Paulus is a Greek name. Right? Jesus is a Latin name, or Jesus is a Greek name. So during the time of the Greeks, that was a great evil too. We were being called by heathen names, right? By heathen language. You know, we had being called had these heathen names. That's what brothers know what I mean. Salaka for that.
This is the Bible, Compact Bible Dictionary, Zondervan, page 537, under Sergius Paulus, the Roman proconsul, KJV, deputy of Cyprus, a senatorial province from 22 BC. He was a prudent man, one possessed of intelligence and discretion. He believed, which most naturally means he became a Christian. Acts 13, 7-12.
Now, is that an Israelite?
Yes, it has to be.
You know, because he believed. Now, why would the Most High just make him believe if he's a heathen? He wouldn't do that.
Exactly.
The Most High don't go back on his word. This is the time that the apostles were gathering the Israelite foreigners. Oh, he was a deputy, so now he's an agent. Is that what you're saying?
You got a brother, man. Oh, Lord, well, I'm not
That's
wrong.
that superstition, man.
Exactly.
Niggas be on that superstition shit.
Wasn't it? Is it Adawan? Is it Adawan Abad, or how you say the brothers?
I don't want Abad. Lord, what does Abad mean again? I forget damn.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want Abad, yeah.
That brother, I believe he used to be in the military. Either him or
Malcolm too.
Malcolm,
Elder Malcolm, I believe, was in the military
Yeah.
too. Marines or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't, you know,
you got
not really
brothers
sure, bro.
that were in militaries, brothers that did all sorts of things. You got brothers that done medical work, brothers here, brothers there. Brothers all over the place. We're like your average. You got the same thing with, say, Elamites. You got Elamites that are senators and judges. Elamites to do this, a little bit of that. Same thing with us. You got, Israelites here, Israelites there, some that believe. You got some secret disciples out there, certain men that are maybe in high positions, but then they hide because they're scared. They're scared to lose their job, which that's not the way to be, man. That's not the way to be. Every man to their lot, of course, but you can't be hidden forever, man. You don't have to come out sometime.
Do the works.
You
Exactly.
do work sometime, man. You know.
Yeah, I was mentioning that you had Israelites with Greek names. That's what I meant to say. You had Israelites with Greek names and Latin names. Now, when somebody reads Jesus 100 times in the New Testament, they believe that's his name.
Exactly.
But we know through the scriptures, not even in the spirit. That's easy to tell. His name is Yahweh Shai. He has the same name as Joshua, which means he delivers. He's, of course, Joshua and Yahweh Shai are different, but Yahweh Shai is that ultimate deliverer.
How the hell can Joshua's name be Yehoshua or whatever the hell you niggas come up with?
There was no O's.
There's no O's, there's no U's in the Hebrew back then, all right? Even that Yiddish shit, that has nothing to do with what the true language, man. So how the hell could his name be Yehoshua or this or that or whatever name you guys come up with if that wasn't there, all right? It doesn't make sense, it doesn't add up, all right? The devils play with the names, man, all right? You change names, you wet your tongue like a sword. We're just going to how they do their propaganda and the campaigns, so on and so forth, to make us look like murderers.
Right.
But they just did. You see the news?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. That bitch ain't have no emotions, right?
She had no emotions. Her kids, both her children died. And they said, "Oh, it has something to do with that doctrine."
Black Hebrew. They always say this, black Hebrew Israelite. We keep telling you, we're not black,
They're not black.
right? We're not black.
We're not black.
You have different shades of brown. You got Israelites that look light-skinned,
Exactly.
right? Because our spirit bears witness with the truth. We're not black.
Exactly.
Stop labeling us black, man. You fucking Edomites, man.
Exactly.
That ties in perfectly with the prophecy in Deuteronomy 28 and 37. Proverbs and bywords that our enemies will call us.
Exactly.
Giving us government names. That's why we give ourselves Hebrew names, because we don't like our government names. Damn, I don't like mine. We don't like our government names. Now, some of us might even got government names that go back to Hebrew, but just spelled differently. But you know, and you devils, man, got a lot to pay for, man. And one of the evils too, that during the time of the Greeks, that one of those great evils, which is a great evil, us writing the Septuagint, right from the Hebrew scriptures, the Paleo-Hebrew, into the Greek language. So now when you read something in Greek, it's a problem because it doesn't carry the same vibration as the Hebrew language. So now if the whole Bible, the New Testament, Old Testament were all written in the Paleo-Hebrew, like I said, and I'll mention it again, you Christians, fake Christians, will not read the Bible. Because they'll say Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Like, oh, hell no. You'll get cut easy. You'll be like, nah. They're a joke. These fucking people are a joke, man.
Remember what Saul heard it in the Hebrew language.
Yep.
Saul, why persecutest thou me? Why dost thou kick against it? It's hard for you to kick against the pricks.
Yep.
You know, like you're going against me, man. It's hard for you to go do that. You can't do it.
You can't do it. Nobody got free will.
No free will, exactly. It shows you time and time again with the Acts, in the book of Acts, the first chapter, when the elders, the apostles, they pick a new one to replace Judas Iscariot. They said they gave all thanks and all praises to the Lord.
Yep.
Over time and time again, Acts 21. All right, when Paul came down and told them how he was, what he's been doing with the Israelite foreigners, and how he's been calling them in, so on and so forth, and how he's, been doing lots of work all around Asia Minor, Greece, miracles, so on and so forth. All right, they glorified the Lord. The apostles that heard him at Jerusalem, they glorified the Lord. It means to show that he wasn't in control. All right, that's why when we do every video, we start by saying, all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Call Halayim Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai.
Not God, not Jesus, not Most High blessed like the IUIC does.
Exactly. So
we're speaking of, we got the pure language, we got the pure tongue now.
Not Ahaya. You don't say
and not Ahaya. His name is not I am. All right, his name is not I am. You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
She's actually right. Everything is true, what we're saying, but it's not our glory. We don't deserve nothing. All praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai.
Exactly.
So his name is not Ahaya, not Jesus Christ. No, you other Israelites gotta snap out of it, man. Snap out of it, man.
I mean, that shows you how low you people are. I mean, you see two people in the corner, you just
doing a video, not bothering nobody.
Then you gotta say, oh, I thought they said everything is about Jews. Maybe they said everything is true.
No, she said everything is true.
Everything is true. well, if it's all true, you still wearing pants.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's a booty band.
She just agreed with the prophecies, right?
Yeah.
That a woman should not pertain, you know, to not wear what pertains to a man.
Exactly.
She got some spandex or jeans or whatever she got on.
And that guy looked like he a bandito, man. Like he on some different kind of time, man.
Yeah.
So
Different strokes.
different. Niggas gotta go, man.
Yes, man. We ain't gotta throw no salakayam on you niggas, man. You
Right.
niggas is done, man.
Niggas are done, man. But you proved that point.
Yeah, kind. So you know when his Greek history
Yeah.
came about, man, the language, the names, everything just went downwards, man. That's why it mentions Greek so many times in the New Testament, because you have to look at the Greek. For example, ask a Christian. Now, when you go into the Apocrypha, right?
Yeah.
Ask them if they know anything about the Greek history. What were Israelites doing during the time of the Greek history? Okay, where can we find that history? They say, oh, I don't know. It's like, do you read the Apocrypha? No, it's not part of the Bible. Well, you're not going to find a history, but that's part of the history.
Didn't Yahweh Shai do
Exactly, the Feast of Dedication, John 10 and 22. That's right, huh?
When it goes into the Maccabees, man.
Yep.
And how they rededicated the temple after they pushed these damn devils out, man. I don't know everything about this. You probably know it better than me.
Yeah, Lil, I got to go back into it. I got to actually go over it more.
I got to go over it again, but that goes back into the Greek history. Well, not really Greek history, but Israelite history with the Celestial Empire, man. And how we eventually pushed them out. All right. And those revolts, and the Maccabean revolt, which that's prophesied in certain scriptures, but I'm not gonna name everything right now, man. But they're in there, man. I think it's Daniel's. You don't gotta mention it.
It's funny how
Yeah.
Christians claim to know the Bible,
Yeah.
but the Greek Empire, you can read about it in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, the 8th chapter, the 11th chapter.
Yeah.
You can read about the book of Daniel. So what happened to the Greek Empire? So it just skipped from, how does it go? The Assyrian, a Babylonian Empire, the Persian Empire, to the Romans.
Yep. That's too deep for them, Mark.
So it just is a skip. So that's why they can't understand Grecians or the word Greek.
Yep. These that's why last time, just one more thing to say. When we were doing camp like 2 weeks ago, we got these two Edomite lover, Edomite couple, all right, fucking breeding stock, came over here, and they said, "You guys really know about the Bible?"
Yeah.
Like, we don't do this for pats in the backs from Edomites, man. We don't need pats in the backs. We don't do this for pats in the backs.
We're not.
Man.
First of all, we're not here to please nobody.
We're
I
here
don't
to
give a
please
fuck about no
exactly.
subscribers.
Exactly.
How many likes? I don't give a fuck about that shit.
Me neither.
I want to do the works and do it faithfully, man.
Exactly.
Because the scriptures say you got men that hold the truth in unrighteousness.
Exactly.
Obviously, if they're holding the truth in unrighteousness, that means everybody is not right.
Exactly.
All right, everybody's not right, right? Because the Most High is gonna, he's gonna search you niggas out, man. Watch. The Most High is gonna kill you niggas. Watch. Doing wrong to brothers, accusing brothers falsely. The Most High gonna fuck you niggas up. Watch. When that time comes, it's better suffering patiently and cheerfully, man, and wait for a reward, which we don't deserve shit. I don't deserve shit.
I don't.
He don't deserve. No, none of us brothers deserve shit.
No, we don't deserve shit, man. Things that we've done, according to the scriptures, we're
We're
worthy.
put to death.
Yeah, the wages of sin are death. We're worthy to be destroyed. Man.
So we need a mediator.
we need a mediator.
Wrap the news. You hear that? We need a mediator,
A mediator. Yeah.
right? And our mediator is Yahweh Shai.
I believe we just read that in was it 1 Corinthians the 6th chapter, how you're justified by Yahweh Shai.
Right.
By believing on Yahweh Shai, man. That's how you're gonna get justified, man. Matthew 10:32-33, man. If you confess me before men, I'll confess you before the Father. Showing you that there is a mediator. He is the mediator. Okay?
So that means we got to do away with the ancient Levitical priesthood.
Technically, well, we're all priests now.
Right. What I'm saying is, and the way he sees it,
Oh,
that means the Levitical priesthood back then weren't mediators. Moses wasn't a mediator for the people between the Most High and the Israelites.
yeah. They were. Moses was. Moses entreated the Lord.
Do these niggas even read meanings of words? Do you even?
Oh.
You know how many times Yahweh Shai is mentioned in the Old Testament? And you had one of them, Rap the News. I see them go to the book of Peters. What are you doing reading Peters? And then what are you doing reading the book of Peter? You're Old Testament Israelites, remember?
Exactly.
Don't quote the book of Peter.
I mean, he doesn't know the deep breakdowns about Peter, how Peter's King David, and so on and so forth, tabernacle of David.
Right.
He can't break that. If you're watching him, man, you're in a, I mean, seriously,
Fucking spell.
yeah, if you're watching him, like, seriously, like, unironically, like, brothers like me, I watch these other videos just to make fun of you niggas. You guys are hilarious to me, man.
They are.
All right? I watch those guys sometimes, Sons of Jacob Tulsa.
Oh, boy.
This young dude got some dreads.
They got them dreadlocks.
We got a woman in the back of camp. But we proved our point on that. You want to go back to Revelation the 20th. This is becoming a various topics, man. But this is how the spirit rolls, man. All right? If you don't like us skipping around the various topics, man, well, you can close it down. You can start watching our video, and you can go watch some stripper ass on YouTube. There's a lot of stripper videos on YouTube you can go enjoy.
Hey, look.
You don't have to watch us. We're not here for views and sub counts, man.
Man, fuck that shit.
Exactly.
Oh, I got 190,000 subscribers. Ooh, big fucking deal. Rap the News got all that too. Look what that motherfucker's at. You know?
Yeah.
But we're gonna go back to Revelation 3. Fuck that shit.
Son,
Salaki.
this is the book of Revelation, chapter 20.
Oh, it's Revelation 20. Salaki.
Oh, come.
I said 3.
You read Revelation 20, right? Yep.
Yeah, you can continue if you want. You want me to keep going with it?
Oh, yeah. You want to probably say something about the second and the third. You probably want to go on to verse 3 of Revelation 20.
Yeah, I didn't actually finish. I was gonna read verse 2 first.
Oh, I'll read it for you.
Okay, you got it.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Right, so Esau was bound for 1,000 years when he went into the Caucasus Mountains. That's when we laid hold on that dragon. All right? It's not saying somebody underneath the ground. Where the hell do these people get these philosophies from?
Or a literal fucking dragon.
When you go into the word devil, it's a
Yeah.
serpent-like man. When you read the definition of it, or Satan, it's Satan means adversary.
Yep.
Now, why do you think there's so much animosity and destruction on earth? Because everybody is against each other.
Yep.
All right? The Esau is the adversary to the whole entire earth. Right? So when he came back into power during the time of 1400, oh, that was actually something. Hold on, I want to mention that real quick.
Yeah.
Then they wandered after the beast in Revelation 13. I want to grab that. But right, that's when this devil came into power. All right, so 1,000 years, and the Byzantine Empire. Look it up. The Byzantine Empire lasted roughly 1,000 years. So this all ties into the Bible. Right? These words are faithful and true, man. And we're not making this stuff up. You just heard the black woman.
It's all true.
It's all true. She said it. It's all true because it is true.
Fuck that fucking black motherfucker.
Yeah.
I heard.
Fucking niglet.
like that's some of y'all really be like that though, man. You see, like people come up and they say, "Oh, shalom, Mark," and they walk by.
Like
They have
that
a cigarette.
Jamaican dude.
Yeah, he doesn't say shalom, but
No, but he comes by and tell me what this is about. I just told you last week, motherfucker. How many times we gotta tell you?
he doesn't even let us get to his question. I think he asks every single week, who were ruling in Europe. Obviously, tribe of Judah, man. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, but mostly the tribe of Judah.
Yep.
All right, now we can't break down everything, but you got some of these guys, or what was his name? Richard the Lionheart. Why would he call himself Richard the Lionheart, man? He was an Israelite. Edomite would do that? I'm not going to go all into that history, but, you know, Richard the First, the Lionheart. That's what he called himself.
King James was a dark-skinned man.
Exactly. King James, so on and so forth. I wanted to say about that word, the dragon. The dragon represents the pagan. This is from the King James.
Oh, yeah,
Some
yeah,
brothers
yeah.
in the UK, they made a website. It's kind of like Wikipedia. Like you can sign up and make an account, and you can add breakdowns to the scriptures. So like if you're unclear on something, you go click it. Oh, boom. It's like Wikipedia. Sign up and you can add things to it as well. It's like a community kind of thing. But this is what the brothers got in this song.
And these are accurate breakdowns.
Exactly.
Accurate.
Accurate.
Pure, accurate breakdowns.
Yep. So for layhold, the brothers has the Israelites put the Edomites in subjection. Dragon, pagan Roman Empire.
Yep.
1,000 years. The 1,000-year period started around the reign of Constantine the Great, circa 325 AD. During this period of time, the Edomites were enslaved under Israel.
That was the Moors. And what were the Moors following during that period? Started in like around 600 AD. Like 630, 640, 650, 700 AD. Khadijah, which Khadijah goes back to the black popes, I believe. Well, I'm saying her family. All right, all Israelites. The original popes were dark-skinned men.
Following that Islam shit,
Yeah,
some
exactly.
of them got wrapped up. I have accounts in that book, The Black Jacobins. I left it back in upstate. I can't carry everything with me. But the Black Jacobins, they have an account where slaves, they were actually praying to Muhammad and believing and speaking about the Prophet Muhammad. Now, where the fuck would they learn about the Prophet Muhammad? Did Esau teach them about the Prophet of Muhammad? No, because they're the Moors, man. Those just had certain strongholds in West Africa. You gotta go look in the wilderness of Revelation, the 12th chapter, how they fled down into West Africa, so on and so forth. Now I gotta go back on that breakdown again, because the wilderness is multiple wilderness. It's like two of them, and they're not the same. One is West Africa, but I'm not gonna go into the other one. I gotta look back on that one. But it's deep, man. You gotta look at that history.
Right, Yahweh Shah spoke about it, fleeing into West Africa. He himself fled into into Egypt, with his biological father Joseph and his mother Mary.
This is the third verse.
And the original Egyptians were dark-skinned people, Hamites. You go into the Table of Nations, they were dark-skinned people. Then you had, hold on, I gotta mention this real quick. You had the Ptolemaic Empire calling themselves pharaohs. The word pharaoh means a great house, right? They had riches over there. You know the Ptolemaic Empire, they had riches. But they ran Ham out of there, or not, you still had some of them in there.
They put them down. They put them in subjection.
Right, and they were pushed down in like South Africa.
Yeah.
The Canaanites, right? But you had Ethiopians still around that area too. But they were calling themselves pharaohs. Now, when you go on Google, you type in Egyptians, a lot of times it'll show you a white or light-skinned images. That's wrong. That's off. Right? They were Edomites. The Ptolemy, the one Soter, Ptolemy the second Philadelphus.
Exactly. Even when you look at those photos and those statues, the features don't line up with those pictures of these Ishmaelites, these lighter-skinned Ishmaelites that they got in there. You got to look back to the history too, man. Certain of those Ishmaelites, they conquered Egypt for certain amounts of time, man. I believe it was Saladin. When you go look into Saladin, he ran Egypt for a certain amount of time. Caliphate.
The Caliphate, right.
Yeah, Caliphates.
They go back to Ishmael.
Ishmael, man.
Right.
They ruled certain parts. I think they call it Fatimid Egypt. I'll look it up again just to get a reading of it real quick, just so we're sure and certain, because I don't want to watch this video later on and look that Fatimid has something to do with something else, and I go here rub my head on my eye.
It happens, man. A little slip of the tongue here and there, but it happens.
But this is Ham in the Bible dictionary. Just to get it real quick. Ham. Page 213.
It's 213. It's right down here, right?
Yeah. Perhaps hot, which is the name.
Oh yeah. Ham. The way you say it in Hebrew is come. Now that's where these Kemetic worshipers get that word Kemet. It comes from chum. The cha sound. Okay. Then you got the chum. Then you got the ma. But you put it all together. It's chum, which means hot. Right?
Exactly.
There's no such thing. That they don't even know that.
Exactly.
They're Kemetic. Where does the word come from? Ask one of them niggas, where does the word come from?
Exactly.
That's how you know the Bible outpowers with ease. It's like it's not even no competition. It's like we're proving everything we're saying. The scriptures say prove all things. If we don't know something, we'll do, you know what? Let's go study this. Let's research it. Then do a video on it. Lord willing.
Yeah. Or if it's something like a topic like this, like we're rolling in the spirit. Like certain things I'm pulling out now, these are things I looked over years and well, not really years ago, but months ago. I haven't been in this thing years, but months ago, and then I go in there and pull it out again, man.
Right.
That's just the spirit. You find things, you go in the spirit, you pull out certain things, and you line them up, and you just let it roll. So, you know, but back into
And also, too, the scriptures say comparing spiritual things with spiritual. So you're comparing spiritual things. So everything we bring out, we can prove it. Esau, Edom knows that he's not the original Egyptians. Ptolemy knew he wasn't the original Egyptians. He knows that. Everywhere, that was like a Renaissance down there. Alexandria, Egypt, a library. You know, that was like a Renaissance, somewhat of a Renaissance, because once these Edomites came into power down over there in the Ptolemaic Empire, Egypt, they took Ham's customs.
exactly.
He's showing you that Esau is an identity thief. He has to hoard up deceit for him. So he got to hoard up lies. He takes everybody's identity. He wants to be the original Greeks, the Japhites, which were dark-skinned people.
Yep.
He wants to be the Israelites, but they're Amalekites, these gutter rats. Come on, man.
At Arabia, with that whole line, the Arabian dynasties you got down there, they actually go back to Edomites in the history. I don't remember the brother GMS Yeshaya. He has a video on that. He went in and he proved it. He got certain documents and he showed the webpage.
Yes, if you can find me that video, I'm gonna post it up on my page. Lord willing, if you can find it.
Yeah, Lord willing, these damn devils didn't take that thing down because that was a
Very powerful. Yeah,
edifying and very powerful.
Pretty sure it was. Yep.
Yep. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. And we know that Egypt goes back to Egyptos, it's a Greek word. It really should be Matazadian, which means double straights.
Double straight.
Yeah, double straights. That's what it means. Alright? So it really should be Matazarian. You shouldn't even be calling yourself Egypt. You should call yourself Matazarian.
Calling yourself an Egyptian.
Egyptian.
When you call yourself an Egyptian, I know a lot of women back in the world, they were into that RBG, right? The RBG movement. When you're calling yourself an Egyptian, you're pretty much calling yourself an African or a Hamite. Oh, well, the word Africa comes from Leo Skipper Africanus, but you're calling yourself a Hamite. But not the Negroes. The brother just read it for you. Now, who wrote the Compact Bible Dictionary? It was Edomites, exactly. This is how we know that Esau Edom knows history. But now, when he's being exposed on a high level, now we're making things up. Now we're lying. Now we're crazy. Now they're trying to demonize us more and more.
Exactly. I want to say that as well. I just saw this news article. Maybe I could do a video on that later, but it talked about how millennials are actually making a shift away from quote-unquote organized religion. These Edomites are moving away from Christianity.
Right.
They're moving away from whatever bullshit that they were doing. And he said because of what we're going through now, because of all these issues and things shutting down, they're actually moving away out of it. All right?
What happened? I thought they had faith.
But they had faith.
Yeah,
It
man.
shows that everything that they were doing was all fake, man. And you know what's another reason? And they didn't mention in the article. I didn't get a chance to read the article. But on TikTok, you got some of them that mention that the real Israelites were dark-skinned people.
Right.
That mention about the tribe of Judah. They watch our videos and they basically parrot what we say.
Right.
You got them on there. So that could be it too. They watch, some of them watching the videos and they could be like, man, wow, I've been lied to my entire life. And hey, man, this was going, everything's falling apart for you, Esau. That's why real soon you got to pull the plug. You're going to have to create some sort of riots. You're going to have to do false flags.
Well, they've been doing that, but if
more
it
on the
be of
bigger
the Most High who can overthrow it.
Exactly.
But they going deep with it.
Yeah.
They going deep. The scriptures say the heart of every one of them is deep. Yep. Their mind is deep once it comes to wickedness.
Yep.
They'll try to, they'll try to figure out every little bit how they can set you up. Yeah. Do it like this, strategically move this piece here, do it like that.
Wiser than Daniel.
Exactly.
In a carnal sense, not in a spiritual sense. In a spiritual sense, you guys are like fleas to us, man. lower than fleas.
Man, we ain't even hit color scriptures
We
yet.
hit the color scriptures.
But you know what's crazy, man?
Yeah.
What we on?
Third verse.
Oh yeah, come on. You can read the third verse.
This book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 3, and cast him to the
And
bottom.
you can stop it right there, or after that third verse.
And shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season.
That he should not deceive, put the seal on Esau, that he should not deceive the nations no more. How can we prove that serpent in the garden was Esau? Let's go to Genesis chapter 3 now. This is how we can prove it, speaking about the same exact devil. Yahweh Shai knew who Esau Edom was. He said that, he referring to Cain, he said that serpent of old. But the Apostle Paul, he said that murderer. The Apostle Paul said that that serpent was begot Eve, and Yahweh Shai that murder called Cain. He's speaking about Cain, that murderer from the beginning. Yahweh Shai was referring to Cain. All connects to Esau. But let's grab this right quick. You can start from the top.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field.
Now the serpent was more subtle, meaning crafty, deceptive than any beast of the field. Now when you go to Ezekiel, okay, how can we prove these are the different nations? Let's grab it. The beasts, all right? I'll grab it. You can hold that. Now read that again,
Come on, this is the book of Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. I got the brother's breakdown. You probably want to read that first.
Damn, what is that? I believe it's Ezekiel. I will destroy the beast thereof from beside the green waters. Heaven remain, and I will find the beast in my ruins, so fowls of heaven remain, and the fowls have made their nest. Damn. Oh man. Where's that at? The cedars of the garden, fir trees, bows, and chestnut trees. I have made a fir tree, because thou hast lifted up the height.
Talking about the beast?
No, the beast is the scriptures refer to the nations as these beasts in Ezekiel. The beasts in it's all good. Let me try to find it.
While the brother's looking for it, I'll break down Genesis chapter 3 for him. This is what the brothers here from the UK got. The serpent is Esau before he was given that name, better known as the so-called white man. Revelation chapter 20, verse 1 and 2. The brothers also got here precept, Psalm 58 and 3. Yep. This is the book of Psalms, the 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So these Edomites do, man. They go around speaking lies from the beginning. The Lord, when you read Jeremiah, he knows how you're going to turn out from the birth, man. From before you're born, he knows everything about you, man. The Lord is in control of everything. And he uses these Edomites, he sets them up to go do whatever he wants them to do. You look at Proverbs, I think it's, I can't remember, it's either Proverbs or Psalms. It goes to the heart of kings are in the hand of the Lord. You Edomites, you follow what the Lord tells you to do. Verse 4, the poison is like the poison like the poison of a serpent. They're like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear. All right, and the brother here, I got from
Damn, I can't find
the
it.
UK, the poison is going into the philosophies. But yeah, the beast, beasts represent people essentially. When you, another one, go into just why is the serpents harmless as doves? That represents being people. All right, like say, if you have someone who's very dirty, they call you fucking pig. All right, that's why Jake's called these Edomites fucking pigs, because they're disgusting, they're dirty, and they're fucking filthy. They're the basis of men, and they're animals.
This is Psalm 73 and verse 22. This Malak Dawadah speaking, or King David. So foolish was I and ignorant. I was as a beast before thee. Right, being in a beastly state of mind. Those Israelite foreigners that were in that beastly state of mind, they went off They went astray from their the law, statutes, commandments, or our customs. So we were likened unto beasts, and these beasts are these nations. But that right there prove it. There's actually a few. I just can't find it.
We'll just go back into Revelation chapter 20.
Right. Also, too, make mention, beasts are not giving laws. We were given law, statutes, commandments. These nations are likened unto beasts because they weren't given laws to follow. So if you're, like, for example, Moab or eat a rat, there's us, we won't do that because we have a law not to do that. Now, of course, some jakes act like a bunch of beasts that they do that. But we're not going to do that. Brothers in the truth ain't going to do that.
Y'all can see us in the corner eating rats because of the famine, man. We ain't going to be like that. So the scriptures say, like someone shall eat, you should be hungry, man. I should be hungry. That's what's going to happen. You're going to have jakes out here. You're going to be eating whatever you get your hands on, man. You guys going to be guzzling down a tank of piss to get your hydrate, your drinking, man, or your water.
We read verse 3, right?
Yeah. I'll read it again. This book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 3, and cast him to the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more. A spiritual seal, meaning put them in that low position, right, so that he can't deceive the nations no more. Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that, he must be loose a little season.
Right, and that little season is the time that he's ruling now.
Yep.
So
starting from when?
The Renaissance era.
The
Renaissance. It started in the Renaissance period around 14 something.
Exactly.
AD, we always say circa because it was around that time.
You got
the invention of the letter J came about the 1500s.
I want to bring out something about that, right?
Alphabet change.
You got the fall of Constantinople, 1453, by Mehmed II, who was a Turk. Those are Edomites, because then it lines up perfectly with biblical prophecy, man. Right. And now what you have with that, the fall of Constantinople, later on named and changed to Istanbul. We know a Turkish bitch, man. This Turkish fucking hoe, man.
Oh yeah.
I was looking at a restaurant the other day.
Yes.
Nasty ass motherfucker, man. She had a thing for his brother, but we ain't gonna talk too much about that bitch. All right, she has a thing for everybody.
Yeah,
right?
she has a thing for everybody. She's been tossed around.
Yeah, to and fro.
To and fro.
From various different places, waters.
Yep.
Waters, we say. But yeah, I actually found what I was looking for a little bit earlier. This is Khan Academy, and it's going into Florence in the early Renaissance. And I'm just going to go to the point for where I read what I really wanted to look for here. The foreign citizens interpreted these military victories as signs of God's favor and protection. They imagined themselves as the new Rome. That's what these Edomites began to do. They stole our customs. They didn't steal our customs. They perverted it and changed it to what you see today with these fish hats and all this bullshit.
Yeah, that fish hat goes back to the Dagon.
The Dagon.
Which is Dog in the Hebrew for fish.
Exactly.
Dog in the Hebrew for fish.
Exactly. They did all a bunch of bullshit. I don't know everything. There's more things and certain things that Jake put in there and he messed up, and then, then Esau came in and picked it up, and Esau added his own spin on certain things, changed the images.
Yep.
All right, that's something that I got to go back into, but it's like that, man. So they imagine themselves as the new Rome, in other words, as the heirs to the ancient Roman Republic, prepared to sacrifice for the cause of freedom and liberty. This is Rome in the reincarnation, man. That's why I said the dragon. All right, it's Rome. These Edomite Romans. Okay, that were now Roman seat. Okay, and now they've come back. They had that power taken away back then. They came back during the time of the Renaissance, and they called themselves New Rome in Florence.
Yeah, yep.
These are Edomites.
And that word "new," if you were to translate it or you would get the definition, it would be kainos, which means refreshed.
Yeah.
So it would be a refreshed empire. Yep. Why? Because the scripture saying Daniel's as well, they were more diverse than any empire that came before them.
Yeah. Yep.
Instead of kings, they'll call themselves presidents. Right? Or you'll call yourselves prime ministers. That was just to try to deflect on their ancient their ancient, whatever they call themselves back then. So it's the same exact people. And I want to just grab this right quick. So you did find the article.
Yeah, that was what I wanted. It's from khanacademy.org. On the Florence history, Florentine Renaissance history.
Yeah, the brother's right, because a lot of that Renaissance art really came in Italy. It came out of Italy.
I think Michelangelo is from Florence. He's
Right.
a Florentine. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I read that. I think it was his family came from Florence, which makes sense. It all ties in. Fall of Constantinople. These Renaissance painters coming up, and so on and so forth. Jake's rulership ending. Jake going into slavery around 200 years after. So on and so forth.
Also, too, the Gregorian calendar, the times.
Yeah.
Now, when you go into Daniel's, the 7th chapter, it speaks about these devils changing times, laws, and seasons. Now, it's about to be January, right? So-called January, in a few days. That goes back to Janus or Janus, which means the beginning of a portal or new beginnings. Why do you think people, my New Year's resolution? That goes back to a heathen Roman god. Yep. And you got one face facing this way, you got another one facing the other way. Like one face is saying, look, I'm looking towards the future. This face is looking towards the past.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what that means.
That's what it means. Yep.
People don't even know that. The Mondays, like the Saturday, right? In 2 days it'll be Saturday. That goes back to Saturnalia. You think we call the planets and constellations, you think we called them Venus, Mars, Jupiter? No, that came from Greek and Roman deities, false gods. We won't do that as Israelites.
If they had, I don't know what we call them. You know? If we even gave them names. That son Esau does. Esau done fucked the whole world up. Mm-hmm. Now he's looking at the stars and looking at these other planets, trying to try and understand the Most High's program and he's done certain things. He looked into biology. He's looked at the Most High's coding. That's the point. That's why when you look at this thing in his coding, looking at the Most High's coding, trying to figure out certain things. That's why he has the poker chips, man, that you can buy from Caesar's Palace out there in the casino.
Yep.
All right, I'm trying to make it be a code word. Okay?
The Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal, yeah. You can go ahead and get the poker chip and you get it right up in you, man. Okay? Yeah. That's why he's trying to do that. He wants to control your mind. He want to put it in your head, have it get into your mind. They can make you hear voices. They can make you play games. You mean to tell me he's gonna let you play games? They're gonna have something where if they want to control you, they can go ahead and do it. They're gonna say you may want to sit in bed. You don't want to go to work today. The thing is gonna jolt you up and make you go to work. That's what they want to do. You know, but
God. This Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai requireth that which is past. So that which had been is now. So the ancient Roman Empire, now we got a new revived Roman Empire. The beast whose deadly wound was healed. That's talking about during the time of the Renaissance period. Now I didn't bring the book with me, but I got a book called The Destruction of the Indies. And when you go into that book, it gives you a rundown of the brutal, atrocious shit that Esau Edom did to the Native American Indians, the Taino Indians, or the tribe of Ephraim, right in these different islands, all right, around the Mediterranean Sea or the West Indian Islands. Now, grab Romans 13, I believe it's 4. Salakia, Revelation 13 and 4.
Yep. The book of Revelations.
If we misquoted a book or verse, brothers know what we mean. It happens.
Yeah, and if we misquote it, all you gotta do is if we mention the words of it, you just read it and you say, "Oh, that's what it means."
Yep.
You know, this is the book of
they wanted after the beast.
Yep. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and so I can really start at verse 3.
Come.
And I saw one of his heads as they were wounded to death.
You going at you up.
Yep, and that's going into the ancient Roman Empire, which was taken down and ruled by Israelites, man, by dark-skinned men. Right? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, most of the tribe of Judah. who took it over. I can't break down and tell you every single.
Well, it was
ruler.
Benjamin,
Yeah.
Levi, and Judah in that region.
Yeah, I can't tell you if Charles Black Boy was really a Judite, or if King Richard the First was the Lionheart, if he was really a Judite. We can't get you everything, okay? But we know that they were dark-skinned people. You see on the coat of arms, so on and so forth.
No, go ahead, you got it.
And his deadly wound was healed. All right? And his deadly wound was healed when? In the time of the Renaissance. You proved it again. That means it came up twice now. And stuff comes over and over again. Another scripture, I think in Revelation the 17th, it goes in, this is the beast that was,
Right, yep.
all right, going to the Roman Empire, yet is not, okay? Because it's not Rome. Rome is over there on the other side of the world, but yet is. It's Rome coming back in the reincarnation. Edomite rulership, okay? Edomite dominance, okay? Ancient Roman customs.
Christianity supremacy, Protestant supremacy,
Yeah.
you name it.
Yeah.
It all goes back to the Roman Empire.
Which,
All right, well, when it started becoming pagan, you know,
Yeah.
that following really, you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
once they brought it over here,
Yeah.
they fed Jake with all these philosophies.
Exactly.
Because if you go into the Protestant history of slavery, the Christian history of slavery of selling Negroes and Latinos and slaughtering the Native American Indians, you devils got a lot to pay. You vocab Malones, you gonna pay. Watch, you fucking devil.
And what the brother means is that, yes, of course, you had Jakes that had their own little doctrines and whatever, and that may have caused that and started it. Okay, you had Jakes that were popes and doing that whole sort of thing. And Jake did run the Roman Empire, of course.
But what I'm talking about is when Edomites came over here,
Yes, sir.
during the time of the Renaissance,
Yep.
there was the Most High was raising them up. Like I said, I will raise up Pharaoh to show my power in them. Well, he was raising up and nurturing up Pharaoh with these Edomites to slowly put him in the power seat.
Yep.
So when they came here to to the coast of America, or the so-called Puritans over here in the Northeast, they came with the intent of murdering,
Yeah.
of stealing, of robbing, of pillaging.
Do we look into it? Was it Christopher Columbus used Esdras, second Esdras?
Oh yeah, yep.
to-
Gotta
to-
mention that.
to get here. All right, so they know the scriptures and they know the prophecies talking about the northern kingdom. All right, talking about the tribes that came down here, talking about your so-called Native Americans and so-called Hispanics.
God.
All right, these Edomites came down here with vengeance and choler against you and put you in subjection, feigning peace and safety, and they came in with swords and smooth.
This, hold on, let me grab it. Since you mentioned that, let me grab it for you. What?
Some.
I got you. 55.
Yeah.
This Psalms 55, and let's start at verse 21 or 20. Let's start at verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Surviving in a cold, showing you how to survive in the cold, that came from the Native American Indians. Because you devils can't do it. They showed you how to survive in the cold. Right? Showing you how to cultivate a land, how to plant trees, seeds. Our people are good, you know? Man, if you look at back in the ancient world, our people were we could easily do that, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be over here having a hard time trying to explain ourselves, man. We easily.
And that's the same way through the spirit, we're the same way now. You got Jakes that may not have a lot of money, but we know how to keep ourselves warm. Brothers, we camp every 360, well, every single week, 52 weeks roughly. All right, 52 weeks in a year. All right, we camp. We camp during the cold season, and we survive through it. We get our long johns, we put on 2 pair of socks, and some of us don't have that much money, but we work it out though.
Go on.
You probably want to finish.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him, right? Because Esau, Edom, he has what you call a perpetual hatred for you, Jakes. He has a continual hatred.
Written in Genesis 27, around the 40th verse.
Right out now will I kill my brother Jacob, and that's what this devil said. All right, until his day, these devils, these Edomites, till his day still
Hunting us, wherever.
they're hunting us. Yep.
You know, as we speak right now, there's a Jake in the corner getting the brakes beat off him by a couple Edomite cops. As we speak, I don't know where, I don't know how, but right now as we're talking, a nigga's getting his ass beat, probably somewhere in China by a bunch of Moabites.
Yeah, but they got laws to
Yeah.
protect the Asian society, the Asian community.
Asian community. So-called Asian, because Asian
Stop
is,
the hate, exactly.
Exactly. Asian community, what was it? Asiaticus?
Yeah, that comes from Leo Skipper Africanus' brother, Asiaticus.
So Indians are Asian, Chinese are Asian, Japanese are Asian. You guys, that's a fucking
People
madness.
are fucking retarded. I'm Middle East. What the hell is Middle East? That's a direction. I'm Middle East.
Like that fucking bitch at the fucking place that, oh, I'm Middle Eastern. And you explained to that bitch, you said, the Middle East.
I was just toying with her head like
Exactly.
that. This is fucking easy.
Suez Canal. No, they can't break that stuff down, man. They don't understand. People are gone. You know what? It's gonna be fun, Lord willing, to get to see and to even know. Even if I don't get to see it, to know that some of you fucking Ishmaelites and some of you niggas are gonna be all skins and bones, looking for whatever food you can find, eating fucking sardines off the ground. That puts a smile on my face, man. To even know that, because you guys put us in slavery too, and we didn't forget about it, man. You Ishmaelites and you other nations, you Ammonites and you Moabites.
The Saharan slave trade.
Yep.
That was on the east coast of Africa.
Yep. Kunlun slaves.
Yep. Kunlun was over there in China.
Yep.
Kunlun slaves. They would call the Israelites over there serving captivity Kunlun or devil slaves.
That power, they were strong. They were
Yeah.
very powerful. They would just make them work all day, man. That shows you one people stronger than another. We're physically stronger than you Edomites.
That's right.
And that time is going to come when the Lord is going to put that spirit on his men and give his men power and that rod to just bash you and just, destroy you.
That's right.
And it's going to come soon. Sooner than you think. Lord willing,
Come.
You got it.
The Psalms 55 and verse 20, he hath broken his covenant. So how many agreements did the American cavalry or the American government break with the Native American Indian?
531.
It
Over
was
500.
over. It's countless. It's,
Countless, yeah.
the words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Yep.
Yeah, because when Esau speaks, he speaks so, like, he'll convince you that he's there to help you. But it says this, but war was in his mind, war was in his heart.
Yep.
Now, this is what this devil is all about. War, and more war. That's what he's all about.
Yep.
All right?
Who's he waging war against now? He's waging war against us today, man. He knows his time is short and he's coming down with that great wrath. Revelation 12 and 12, as we know.
Come
All right? But you saw there, I did a video on it yesterday, RT News, going into the new restrictions on travel, which I believe is only on planes. But we know eventually it's going to get to on the street, on the roads, entering to the city, interstate travel, on the ground,
That's
so on and so
Second Ezra chapter 15. That's prophecy. A man
Prophecy.
should desire to go into one city and shall not be able to.
Exactly. And that's what's going to come, man. All right, but when you read that article, I don't want to say the nigga name, man, but Tony, F-U-C-I, however the hell, I think I missed the A, but you know who I'm talking about, Tony. We just call him Tony.
Okay.
Tony, who we know, who is a big on health, a health guy. He's the health guru coming with this. All right. He said that it's reasonable to go make this mandate, this
Mandatory.
this mandatory for interstate travel. All right. So that's how they do it. They put it and they say reasonable. You look at the word reasonable, it means fair. What's fair about having a group of people, which is us, these other people that don't want to, do certain things, right? We know that this is no good for your health. This muy malo.
Yep.
All right, very bad. Okay, we're not doing that. Okay, but they put it and they twist it and they say these words to make it seem like it's something good, but in reality, it's very dangerous. Women that's taking it, they have all sorts of problems with their menstrual, getting all out of whack. People have died. People have had mental illnesses from the so-called cure, which even when you look into these things, it's not a cure. The point behind it is supposed to be preventative. It's supposed to mimic your immune system, which is a bunch of bullshit. But why are they doing it? And doing it focusing on the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man? Because they want to kill us. Point blank period.
Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 24. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believe him not. For there are 7 abominations in his heart, whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. So when he speaketh fair, believe him not.
Exactly.
Oh.
We know the other ones, Sirach 12 and 10, Slock here. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Iron rust all the time. All right, and I study, a little bit of chemistry here and there back in the day. Okay, back at certain times. Okay, when you look into it, with iron rusting, it's something with water vapor, and it just wears down the iron. That happens 100% of the time. You leave something like a piece of iron on the ground, and it rains a few days, come back, and it gets a little bit of rust, and it comes on more and more and more. All right, that's what happens. Man.
Never trust thine enemy.
Never trust thine
Sirach
enemy.
chapter 12 and 10.
His wickedness is sure.
Right. Psalms 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Yep.
And we know that Esau's blessing was the sword.
Yep. His guns. Now you got the way he's creating artificial famines. He's slowing things down. He's slowing down travel. He's created these horrible working conditions. The whole reason why you got these kids out here, man, and that's why I call you kids, man. I called you kids because you are. You're some little goats. All right, and Lord willing, I get to see you in the famine, man. And while you starving, man, you're gonna beg, please save me. And I'm gonna keep on walking, cause I ain't saving y'all, man. Y'all are wicked. All right, you got nothing to do with you wicked. Okay, y'all gonna have a good and fun time. You got a fun day waiting for you. But my point is, with that, what was I thinking of again? Can you remind what I said before? Oh man, shit.
Talking about the famines.
Yeah, but there's something I said before that. Oh, artificial famines. Slakia. All of this is sword, man. Going to this artificial famines.
Man-made famine.
Man-made famines, so on and so forth, that these devils are able to put out, And, I said, you kids out there. Also the labor shortage, the labor exodus. I was breaking that down. You got a lot of these millennials or kids. I call them kids. They're leaving their jobs, all right, because they're actually choosing jobs that are better for their mental health. They notice that working these jobs and going for money is leaving them with all sorts of mental problems, because a lot of those jobs that you do make a sizable amount, you should actually make it more, and you work hard, and you don't make the amount of money that you should be getting, So now these guys are getting jobs that pay less, but jobs that are easier on their mind, easier on their body. And that's why these businesses and these CEOs are calling the youth lazy today. Oh, you guys are kids are just lazy. They're not lazy. They don't want to work a fucking shitty job for 50 years anymore, man. All right? That's why this place is done. They say the kids don't want to work. It's not the kids don't want to work. They don't want to work for you. What do we know they're going to work for? They're going to work for us. All right? When that time comes.
You're going to be our servants.
You're going to be our servants forever. Well, some of you are not going to make it. Obadiah 1 and 18. One group of people, the people that we're talking about right now, Esau, you ain't going to make it forever, man. You ain't going to be around forever. Eventually, you're going to get cut off.
Well, it's still going to be our service for 1,000 years, though.
1,000 years. Once that 1,000-year period is over and you get destroyed, I can't speak on everything, how it's going to go down, but we ain't got to worry about you no more, man. With your other nations, yeah, you'll be in your own land, but you're going to follow our ways. You're going to listen and do what we tell you, or you're going to have a very bad day. All right? And Tawadi Halbashim Yahweh Shai for that. Lord willing, that time comes soon. But,
we still got more.
Yep, in Revelation chapter 20. The 13th.
No, 13.
Yep. This book of Revelation, the 13, verse 3. And I saw one of his heads was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, which went to the Renaissance period, starting in the 1300s, 1400s. 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Go, come on. We got it.
And all the world wondered after the beast, All right, in all the world, one that the beast after the time, well, during the time of the Renaissance in Africa, starting with the Renaissance period. Right, now you look today, everyone wants to come to America. These Moabites, they have a semblance of order, all right, which I'm not going to speak too much about the Moabites. It's kind of why I like them a little bit, because they got a semblance of order. They're women, a semblance. Some of them they're quiet, they listen, they just do what they're told, and that's it. Now they eat dogs and shit, but hey, you know, I'm not talking about that, all right? These Moabites, when they come down here to America, they have order. When they get down here, they go to the damn fucking colleges, and then they become hoes, man. And they become love you long times, man. Love me long times, all right? Or really love you short times, because once they're done with you, and Tyrone, they all women are whores down here in America, man. And elsewhere too. Now you got certain countries that maybe have a little bit of order, but that's far and few in between, man. You got McDonald's all over the fucking place, man. You got all these nations wanting to be like America. You even got Ishmael, all right? Ishmael, in his customs, he has his woman wear those hijabs, which that really came to us, women wearing coverings. That's our customs. When you look at the garment,
well, the Ishmaelite women did wear that,
yeah,
you know, back in the ancient world, but
yeah,
the Ishmaelite, I said, right? The Ishmaelite women
yeah,
did wear that, but
yeah,
the Israelite woman,
yeah,
this is how you can prove that's the Israelite woman too, because the laws, like for a woman not to wear what pertains to a man,
yeah,
that was written for a woman not to wear what pertains to a man. And what pertains to a man?
Hosen, pants.
Pants, right? So you're not supposed to put on spandex, pants, none of that shit.
Exactly.
Right? This is how we notice our women, because a lot of our women don't get covered up. They don't want to know about that shit. That's why they strippers. That's why they strippers. They're fucking whores on the streets. They're loud mouths.
Yep.
They're slutty little whores.
Exactly. I was saying the point about these Ishmaelite women right now. Oh, the woman, our woman wearing the long dresses. You look in that Bible dictionary, you look up garment. It actually talks about how a woman used to wear dresses down to the ankles. Ankles, man. That means they ain't showing no legs.
No mini skirts, no nothing.
No mini skirts. They ain't showing no legs. Not showing no cheeks. None of that, man. All right. Like our woman today, they got those little shits. As Buzz said, those booty shorts, and they showing the crack of their cheeks, man.
With fucking tattoos on their shit.
A tramp stamp. They call it a tramp stamp because they're tramps. They got a pimp and everything, man. What's another nigga? And you gotta get put to death too, man. Lord willing.
Yeah, no whoremongers, and you niggas are whoremongers.
Niggas are whoremongers, man.
Pimping women and shit.
Oh yeah, but the point I wanted to make is these Ishmaelite women, they have rules that these Ishmaelites put on them, the hijab and everything. But then when it comes to the Olympics, you see this Ishmaelite woman in a fucking swimsuit. But I don't see these Ishmaelites screaming about that. You know why? Because you Ishmaelites gonna be just like America, man. You admit it. You want to win gold medals. Now, if you were really serious about your thing, which proves that, man, you ain't got nothing to do with the Most High, man. All right? Because if you were really serious about it, then you guys would be mad about that. You would pull out of the Olympics. But you guys do it anyway. Because you want gold and fame, and you want to look just like America, man. All you nations, all you people, you serve America. All right?
This Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him. And what's that? Those democracies, those philosophies. And maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness.
Yep.
So, you got McDonald's everywhere. You got Burger King everywhere. Yep. You got strip clubs in Saudi Arabia. Who knows what else they got?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how bad it's getting. The East is looking like the Western Hemisphere now.
Yeah, the West spreaded that bandito behavior, high-level bandito behavior. Yep. Now, I mean, that's everywhere. Like, oh, well, that's because of the ancient world. We know it's from the ancient world, right? But the way America got it, and where there's, like, freedom for these dudes, and they just walking around, just cooling on the street corner, you got that everywhere, man. It's infected Ishmael. It's expected Moab. And Ammon. Moab is actually pissed about it. Moab is trying to fix certain things to try and make his men more manly. All right, but it ain't. You could try certain things, man, but at the end of the day, your nations are going to be put in subjection. So there's nothing you can really do, man. Because you got Moab, he has his little ceremonies, and these guys, they'll like beat the dude with sticks, and he'll kind of stand like this, like all strong and shit. All right, hey man, it don't matter what training routine, how many push-ups you think you could do, man. You guys are gonna be put down, man.
This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 16. To back the brother up right quick. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Now, you know Christians ain't reading this.
Exactly.
Oh, that was just the Old Testament. That doesn't resonate with my loving, kind-hearted spirit.
Exactly. Kind-hearted spirit. I wonder where the kindness was when he put us into captivity.
Yeah, love worketh no ill towards his neighbor. What happened with that?
Now, if we're brothers, right? You say everyone's brothers. I'm your brother. You're my brother. I wonder why. Well, the scriptures say, love thy neighbor, love your brother, love your fellow kinsman. You don't love us. Why you keep putting drugs in our community?
Exactly. And that law, Leviticus 19, goes back to the Israelites. Love your kindred, like the brother said, your own people.
Exactly.
It ain't. And it's really going deeper than that. It's really talking about the elect men. Right? Because Yahweh Shah said, he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same as my brother, my sister, my mother, and my father,
Yeah, God.
Because we have biological fathers here. We have mothers that they don't care about the Bible. They want you to stay away from the Bible.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if there was to pass by now, if Mama was to pass by now, my mother would be like, call me my government name. They're like, come here. Come here. I'll look at her like, no. I'm going to keep teaching because there's a job to be done. This is business that we have to attend to. Why are you going to disrespect your mother like that? Is she doing the will of the Heavenly Father? No. What's more important? Laying down your life for the Heavenly Father and Yahweh Shai, or your mother?
Exactly. Yeah, I love the father and mother more than me.
It's not worthy of, exactly.
Exactly. All right, distinct from men. Men of the Lord, you got to be a man first. All right, and men, look at all throughout history, men, our men, when it came to war, we have to go to war and put our lives down, okay? A woman, wife, and I could go fucking kick rocks, man. I gotta go put in some work real quick, man. All right. And plus, this woman and all that stuff, man. Your mother, she'll come back. She'll be all right. All right. You may not see her for a few years, man, and she may have whatever lot she has, but she'll be all right. She'll come back in the kingdom. She'll be all right. So you don't gotta worry about that, man. Don't worry about your dad, your uncle, this guy, that guy. They'll come back in the kingdom, man. If the Israelites, of course.
Now, of course, we're just gonna probably wrap the video up in a little bit.
Yes.
But I wanted to go into a few color scriptures. Yep. But brothers already know the deal, and the people that watch these videos. But for those that don't know, we're gonna go into these color scriptures for you blind, non-reading Cristianos.
Let's see here. You want to start off with
Job 30 and 30, Songs 1 and 5 and 1 and 6. Revelation 1, Exodus 4, Numbers 12, Jeremiah 14 and 2. There's so many. Daniel 7 and 9, Daniel 10 and 5.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 50, the points in 11. Yep. This is the book of Genesis chapter 50, verse 8. And all the house of Joseph and his brethren and his father's house, only the little ones in their flock and their herds he left behind in the land of Goshen. I believe that's after Joseph went to go bury his father. Went to go bury Jacob. Come on. I believe this is after Jacob dies. I'm not going to go into the entire history, but and there went up with them both chariots and horsemen. It was a very great company. And they came to the threshing floor of Atah, which is beyond Jordan. And there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atah, they said, "This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians." Wherefore the name of it was called Abal Mizraim, which is Montezarium, which is beyond Jordan. All right, so they were mistaken for being Egyptians, but these are Israelites, man. This is Israel. You see Joseph and his kinsmen, but they were mistaken by these Canaanites as being Madazar, which were dark-skinned people, which you read in the
I was about to just mention that.
Yeah.
Compact Bible Dictionary.
Yeah.
The Negroes are not no Egyptians.
Exactly.
Showing you that Jacob and his brothers were dark-skinned men.
Dark-skinned
women
men.
and children.
I want to see you guys show me a photo of some Middle Eastern and say, hey, look, Egyptian.
Look, you go to Ishmael,
Yeah.
the original Arabs are dark-skinned people.
Exactly.
One of the sons of Ishmael is Kedar, which means dark skin.
Yep.
Yahweh Shai, dark-skinned man, Revelation 1. Job 30 and 30. Job said, my skin is black upon you. Which that word for black should be Kedar.
I proved that, but I just read the Fatimid dynasty anyway just to double check it. Yeah, you had Ishmaelites ruling there in Egypt, North Africa. So of course you had some of them down there, man. All right, and that came later in history, but before, in the time period that we're talking about in Genesis the 50th, these were dark-skinned people, man. All right, the Egyptians, the Madazarium, were dark-skinned.
Yeah, now you got the whitewashing.
Yep.
Everybody's a white man now. All the prophets, all the nations are white. Wait a moment.
Yep.
But, you know, you do got scholars that say, yeah, you have a biblical Moabite, you have these biblical nations, but they're all white. They can't be dark-skinned.
Exactly. No one is dark-skinned.
But yeah, exactly.
But the Hamites, only Ham. How the hell? Now, we know, of course, with Jacob and Esau, right? Now, if, say, Shem was lighter than Ham and Japheth, or Japheth was red, because you're not white, you're red, then it would have said that, Shem came over and he was red all over like a hairy garment. Or it said Japheth was red all over like a hairy garment. It didn't say that.
It doesn't line up with history.
Because man was created out of the dust of the earth, man. And what color is the dust? Brown.
Yep.
The ground is right there. The dust, the ground of the earth.
And the majority of the ground is dark.
It's dark. Variations of the color brown. All right?
And it makes sense too, because from dust you came, from dust you shall return.
Yep. The human body is made out of dust and minerals.
Right, and the Most High puts that spirit in you.
No.
Right, pursuing what I believe is Zechariah 12 and 1.
Job 30?
Yeah, Job 30 and 30. I'll tell you which one's to grab by. I got it.
This is
Job 30 and 30, you got it.
This is the book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat.
Now, he said his skin is black upon him. Edomites are like, my bones are burned with heat. That was because the sun in the equator. You fucking devils are fucking bunch of spewing nonsense, man.
Yep.
You got it out.
Which are the ones you know?
Revelation 1.
Oh, God.
Start from 13.
Yep.
Matter of fact, let's grab Song of Songs. I gotta take a piss out.
What kind you got?
Yeah, bro. Shit, man. I don't want to walk over there. All right.
Yeah, we'll get a couple more.
Keep going out. Keep going.
We'll get a few more, and we'll
Right in them motherfuckers. Go ahead, you got it.
Yep. This is the book of Psalm of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5.
Oh yeah, grab 5, and I'll grab you from the blue letter, verse 6.
Come.
You can read down to verse 6, and you got it.
This is the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, at the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. All right, Solomon is basically saying that he's dark-skinned, and I want to go get an account here because it's more on that word tents. It's actually a piece of information, a piece of history about that. So this is from the UK brothers. I believe it's the UK brothers that made this site. King James. In this verse, King Solomon is saying that he is a black, beautiful man.
Yeah, because comely means beautiful, right?
Yep.
Or be yapa in the Hebrew, yapa.
Yep. But for you other nations, you always say that having black skin is ugly. That's part of the madness that you put out in this society, that you put out in this world, the Edomites. Dark skin is ugly, light skin and being pale is beautiful. That's a bunch of bullshit, man. And you're not pale, you're red. You can see your blood through your skin.
And also too, the term white came in 1681 down over there in Virginia.
Exactly.
There was no such thing as white 2,000 years ago. You're a white man. What's up, black boy? What's up, white man?
Exactly.
We just different shades of brown, and you had these Edomites and other nations. You know?
Exactly. In the ancient world, you had many nomadic groups of people. Saying tents is a way to group those people, i.e., tents of Kedar means the people of Kedar. Kedar equals dark-skinned Ishmaelites.
Yeah, yep.
Yep.
That's right, Doc. That's right.
We don't gotta read the rest of it. But there's a little note the brother left about there being a mistranslation with as. It says here there's a slight mistranslation in this verse. The word but should be and as a Hebrew character in its place is wa. So it really should be I am black and comely. I am black and beautiful.
Right. Yep.
Yeah,
right.
These brothers are, you find certain
That's
things
what
out
happens
there,
when you study and you
study.
look up words.
Look up a poor not an Edomite, which really should be a Rumian.
Yeah, that's a clerical error for 8, 7, I forget.
Yep. There was an error for that one, but if you don't read and look into that, people are a poor not an Edomite.
Doeg, I forget Doeg. It says Doeg the Edomite, but I believe it should say
Syrian.
Doeg the Assyrian or Syrian.
Yeah.
I gotta go into that again. I forget.
They messed up the translation of it. There's a deeper breakdown on it. And go on, those videos are still up. I'm certain
Yeah,
they're
they
probably
are,
all
they
gone.
are.
But so it's been months since I read that.
Elder Apostle Ramla made a while. It was like about a year ago, I believe a year and a half ago, but it's still up there. You just gotta look for it. Or just type it in, number, whatever it is, Deuteronomy 23. All right, did you read verse 6?
No. This is verse 6. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me.
Now, when you look at, I don't know how to say this in the Hebrew, shakha, I'm not even all right, it says swarthy, right? We're going to look that up, but also it says used of the color of the skin.
Yep.
So Solomon was a dark-skinned man. So we know he's Yahweh Shai in a reincarnation as well. But let's look up swarthy, right? What language is swarthy? And what does it mean? Dark-skinned, dark complexion, dusky, swart, swarthy. Swart, let's look up swart. It's German. Swart is German. Right? For dark skin. You know, like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. Negger. I don't
know if he's
German.
an Edomite or not, but
Yeah, I don't know.
Austria, yeah, you got a lot of Edomites. But you had Jakes up there in Austria too.
Exactly. And plus Arnold, I mean, there's certain things where he used to say nigger a lot. And he was actually like kind of an asshole when you look at certain people talk about him in his youth. But I don't know. He may be, he may not be. He's not in the truth. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck that devil. I ain't
Fuck
gonna
him.
fuck him.
You know, we don't care about saving no fucking
I'll
roided out.
I'll kill him, damn it!
Yep. You got this guy,
The flag,
real quick as well, called King Charles Stuart II, the Black Boy King of England, 1630 through 1685. And this is from Africa Resource. It's a bunch of madness.
Where's he from?
The Black Boy King of England. And this guy, I don't know how to say his name, some African dude, but the word Stuart comes from the Old Nordish root swart, which means black. Stuart is the same word as swarthy, which
That's
means
right.
black in Old English. Other claim is
Swarthy is Old English, but Schwartz is German.
Yep.
Okay.
So he just means dark skin, man. And this guy, King Charles II, black boy, was a dark skinned man. He was called the Black Boy.
What time period?
1630, 1685.
1630.
Yeah.
All right, but you still had,
Never know.
yeah,
Right? Something I
Jakes around that time. Well, of course.
Gone.
Talking about as far as like in a high position or.
Gone. But the Stuart line of kings, that's something I got to go into. But I believe those guys, they go back years and years and years before then. But eventually that line was, they were obviously taken down, I believe, at some point. There was something that I heard and I mentioned, but I don't remember where I found it. Something I got to look back into it. But there's something more about that lineage, where they got Clinton down. I know the Rothschilds, I believe, were involved, and so on and so forth. But that word swarthies means dark skin. All right.
Let's go to Revelation 1. You can start from the top 1 and read all the way down to verse 2, then jump to 13. Revelation 1, 1 and 2, then jump to verse 13.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 2. Who bear record of the word.
Chapter 1, start from 1 and read to 2, then jump to 13.
Oh, you mean verse 2?
Read 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Revelation 1, chapter 1, 1 and 2.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1. You don't mean verse, you mean verse 2, right?
Verse 1 and 2.
Yeah, come. Oh, it's the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Yahushua Mashiach, which the Most High gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
Right, just speaking about John the Revelator in the island of Patmos around, I believe, what was that, 90 AD?
Yeah.
It was around 90 AD timeline. And the angel was showing John the Revelator how Yahushua looks. Right? And like we didn't know, but you know, he's showing how Yahushua looks. Right?
Verse 2. To bear record of the word of the Most High and of the testimony of Yahushua and Mashiach.
And that word testimony is martaria, which means a witness.
Testimony of Yahushua and Mashiach and of all things that he saw.
Right, concerning Yahushua and Mashiach. And let's begin. Yep.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, and
start at 13. Yeah.
13. In the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with garment down to the foot, girded about the paps with a golden girdle.
So Yahushua had a long garment. Okay? You see, brothers, we got long garments. This means he had a long garment on. He had a girdle, like a belt, to hold the garment down. You see a lot of Israelites out there, they have like girdles. Some brothers choose not to wear that. You know, but he had a long garment down to the foot.
In his feet, like unto fine. Verse 14. And his head and his hairs were white, like wool, the texture of wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Right. So his hair was woolly. Right? And what race has woolly hair? Yeah. It doesn't fit the description of Jesus Christos.
Exactly.
That image came during the Renaissance period.
Exactly.
Yahushua was here before the creation even began. And they want to paint him as a white. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
A no melanin having devil like Cesare Borgia.
Exactly.
Woolly hair, all right? Like sheep's hair.
Yep.
But Edomites be like, no, it's because you came like a lamb. And I'm going to explain to you. Nah. It says what it says, man. Exactly. Cut the fucking bullshit.
Exactly. We have woolly hair. All right? Our people have woolly hair. Okay? You can make afros. I hear it defies gravity. You Edomites hair, it's all stringy, and it's all fucking dead hair and shit, and they just want like that. It obeys the rules of gravity. All right, now you have certain northern kingdom that their hair do that. They intermingle with these other nations.
And your hair gets straight.
Your hair gets straight, but they're still Israelites. It don't matter, man.
But the image of our Lord.
Yep.
You know, we're going into it. He's a dark-skinned man. He ain't no fucking cracker.
Exactly. Why didn't he say his skin was red all over him like a hairy garment?
Exactly.
Why didn't it say that, huh? Why didn't it say Yahushua came down, he had blonde hair and blue eyes, fucking deranged, fucked up genetics, all right? When you go into that blue hair, that shit's a mutation, man.
Yep.
Everyone had dark skin and dark eyes, man. That's natural for a human to have, okay? Verse 15, and his feet.
Can I just cut you off real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Apostle Cabal one day in his video said, we can't, matter of fact, you're going to read it though. I'll mention it after you finish reading it. I'm ahead right now. Salak, God. I'll mention it when you finish reading it.
And his feet were like unto fire and brass, as if they burned in the furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
Right, as like fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace. Now, when you keep burning a penny or fine brass, it's not going to turn lighter, but it's going to turn darker. We know that, right? We know how the image of our Lord looks, right? And it says his voice like the sound of many waters. Now, Apostle Gabar said a while back Could you imagine the Apostle Peter saying, or Peter, or who they call Jesus Christ, Peter? It wasn't no soft voice. It was a rough voice. The scriptures say Yahweh was a rough and austere man.
Exactly.
He's austere.
Exactly.
He don't command you, oh, you can go eat pork. Nah, motherfucker, don't do that shit.
Exactly.
Right? But it wouldn't be motherfucker, but you know, it would be a rough way of speaking.
He was getting rough in that with the money changes.
Oh yeah, he flipped that shit over.
He flipped the shit over. He was like, because they were doing some, devilish shit in there, man. They were going off. I think they were selling sacrifices. You had to buy things off them, and they would raise prices. And you had to. It's certain history I got to go back on, but it's something like people were coming with this Roman coins. Then they would have to change it to temple currency, and then they would raise the price in the currency, and that's what they call money changer. You change your money. You know?
Right, because these Pharisees and Sadducees and all of them, they had there were servitudes to these Romans. You know, they were sellouts. Niggas trimmed their way to seek love. John Hyrcanus, that's another nigga. And you had a lot of wicked Israelites that were doing that. You know, now actually that Roman currency was a lot of money. You know, a penny, I believe, means a some type of silver Roman coin. Yeah, he had a rough voice. You read all the way to 15, right?
No, I was gonna go pull that up real quick. Yeah, we read 15.
Okay, so you got.
And that's pretty much the point on that one. The 7, you don't gotta go into the 7 stars. Which, I gotta go back into that. 7 candlesticks, 7 churches,
right.
and so on and so forth. But we pretty much proved the point.
Yes, it's already been almost 2 hours. It's been 2 hours and a half.
Yes, it's damn near 3 hours we got here, but the point's made. Now you know that when we're dark skinned, the Israelites are dark skinned people. All right, don't say, oh, look at you. No. Back then, dark skinned. All right, now certain Israelite foreigners going to other places, and then they may look like an Edomite and blending back in and having dark skinned wives and marrying in and so on and so forth. That's still an Israelite, man. It don't matter how we look like.
There's no such thing as a mixed seed.
Exactly. So that means you have a brother that's an Israelite foreigner, like that brother, GMS, the Posh Bob, brother that looked like him, okay? And he has a dark-skinned wife, okay? That child is an Israelite. Right. It don't matter what it looked like.
And that brother be on fire.
Exactly. That brother be on fire. Not to use his name and him and dark-skinned woman now know too much about him, but I just make a point. You get the picture.
Yeah, exactly.
You got brothers out there. If that was the case, that's still an Israelite. Israelite's an Israelite.
And with that, we'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakah Kodash. Shalom.